You understand? Dark. Yes. You understand? Yes.
And peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Proper to Thought series right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. Good to be back here with y'all. What the hell is going on with my control board? Technical difficulties with the shit, y'all. Yeah. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black ass is here. Tonight, here on DXL, I want to talk to y'all about something. And tonight we're going to be talking about giving back, the whole giving back to Black society thing that we hear about so much. What's good, Chakra King, Brother Stoic, Raw Black in the house? What's good with it, brothers? I see you up there. Yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about, who should give back to Black society. Now, I know we often have these conversations and they get a little murky at times, but we're going to talk it out tonight here on DXL. But before we get started, what's good, Ty City? Yo, Ty City, man, you want to come up, man? Let me know, man. Before we get started, I first have to start with saying, thank you. Y'all I start by thanking all of you, man. Not just for your donations and your cash apps and your super chats and your PayPals and all that shit. No, I thank y'all for showing up here every week. I thank y'all for supporting this channel, man, subscribing to this channel, liking these videos, sharing these videos, joining the Facebook fan group, hit me up on Instagram. I mean, I appreciate all that, man. I do. I mean, y'all support this channel so much, man, and y'all are the reason that this channel has grown. All right, y'all are the reason. And I know y'all get tired of me coming up here every damn night telling you this shit, but I'm going to continue to do it as long as you support me, god damn it. As long as you continue to support me the way that you support me, I'm going to continue to come up here and thank y'all. That's all I know what to do, man. I got to come up here and thank y'all for coming through every week. Because like I always say, man, you don't have to freaking subscribe to this channel. You don't have to watch these videos. And you damn sure don't have to show up to these live streams every week. And you damn sure don't have to drop your goddamn hard-earned coins on this platform. You don't have to. But you choose to do so. Which leads me to believe that you like the platform somewhat. Even if you don't like my ass, you like what goes on here. So for that, I thank you, man. I mean, I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative, man. And like I always say, y'all know I don't tell y'all this stuff to kiss your butts. Because by now, X don't kiss no butts. But I say it because I genuinely mean it, man. And I appreciate the support, man. And I appreciate how y'all look out for this channel, for this platform. I appreciate how y'all support it and ultimately support me. All right. So, I thank you. All right. All right. So, yeah, tonight we're going to talk about giving back, the old giving back. But, we got this new thing that we got going on around here. Let me introduce you to the old Respectabot here. I like to refer to as the old TPOT Respectabot, making sure my chat room stays respectable. Oh yeah, he's watching you, Negroes. He's going up and down, and he'll be checking that chat room all night. So be careful what you write, because the old TPOT Respectabot will be watching. Yeah, that's the old Respectabot, making sure that my chat room remains respectful. But see, my loyal followers, the folks who follow me, y'all already know the deal. Y'all are sophisticated. Y'all understand. That's why y'all don't worry about getting blocked or timed out or none of that shit, because y'all already know the deal. Y'all are grown-ups. Okay? So it's not really for y'all. It's not for y'all. Those of you who know and follow the Proper Thought series, y'all know it's not for y'all. It's not. It's for the people who want to come up in here and disrespect y'all. It's for the people who want to come up in here and disrespect the people inside this area here. See this area here? It's for those people. Yeah, it's not going to be tolerated here anymore. I'm sorry. But y'all can rest assured that when you come here, it's going to be a grown-up atmosphere. It's going, hey, what's good, brother Ray J? I see you up there, man. What's good with it, brother? You know, what's good, Intense Fit Way? I see you up there. Y'all know I ain't got my damn glasses on, so you know, it's kind of hard to kind of focus. But I see y'all up there, man. I see you up there. Yeah, we want to, you know, we want to kind of keep it kind of clean, man. You know, I mean, I'm too old, man, to let things just be rah-rah and anything goes and all of that kind of nonsense, man. I'm too old for that crap. I am. I just am. So I'm staying on this shit, man. It's not a temporary thing, man. This is how it's going to be from here on in. Now, I know it bothers some of you. I know it does. But you'll get used to it. You just will. And for my loyals, they already know. So I'm preaching to the choir when I'm talking to them. But anyway, let's get into it, man. I want to talk about this whole giving back thing, man. Because, you know, that's something we constantly talk about, you know, especially if you a person that has, you know, grown up and, you know, you have some means and, you know, people expect you to, I guess, look out for your town, if you will, for your hood, if you come from one, for your local community, and I guess, in a sense, Black society on a whole, because, you know, you may have done some things and made some better decisions in your life, you know, because you chose to do so. You chose to make better decisions. You chose to be viable and have something in your life, whether it be a job, a career. You started your own business. You're an entrepreneur. You own a store. You something. You work in corporate America. I don't know. You may be a NBA. You may be an NBA player. You may be, I don't know, an NFL player. You may be someone who, you know, is an investor. You know, you got more money than most of the people that you grew up with, right? So people will tell you, you need to give back. Yeah, you need to give back. But what is giving back? Giving back would indicate what? It would indicate what? That you got something to begin with, right? Because people don't say, well, you know, you should give, or you should donate, or you should drop some charity. No. What do they say? They say you should give back, right? So that would imply what? Hey, what's good? Jessica X, I see you up there. Sugar Ray Henry, what's good with it, man? You know, that would imply what? That you've gotten something, right? You've gotten something. But that's just it. Because most of us, especially if we grew up in a low socioeconomic place, if we grew up poor, if we grew up impoverished, if we grew up with nothing, half eating, crusty face, nappy head, our damn feet hanging out of our sneakers. If we grew up like that, we literally got nothing from where we came from. In fact, we probably had to leave from where we were to get whatever it is we got. I know that's the case with me. I mean, where I grew up now, I'm not gonna get up here and cry the struggle mountain shit like a lot of folks do. I mean, a lot of people talk that struggle mountain shit and they ain't even struggling. Okay. But we're gonna talk about that down the line. But I'm not gonna talk that struggle mountain shit because that's not my life. That's not my story. I grew up in a working class family. Okay. My father was a landscape architect. He had his own landscaping business. My mother was a charter bus driver. So I didn't grow up poor. I mean, I just didn't, and oftentimes you're made to feel like, you should feel a certain way because you didn't grow up poor. Now, I knew people who were poor, but we weren't poor. In fact, I didn't start seeing struggle until after I left my parents' house. Now, when I left my parents' house, I had quite a few stints of poorness, if you will. I didn't start feeling that old poor struggle shit until after I left the old man's house. Okay, that's when I start to have to oh shit, you drive charter buses too? Oh shit, man. Yeah, my mom's did that, man. She did that for years. She retired doing it, brother Ray J. Yeah. I mean, when I left my parents' house now, that's when I start to, see some struggle. But we weren't rich. I mean, we weren't rich. We just weren't. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich either. My father was a hardworking man. I mean, he owned his business for 25 years. I mean, he took care of us, and where I grew up, I eventually left. I left that area because I grew up in New York. All right. Went to school, went to a technical college. Thought I wanted to be a electrical engineer. After doing that for a couple years, figured out that I didn't. Went back to school for power mechanics as a mechanical engineer. And I've been doing that pretty much ever since. And make no mistake, while I was going to school, I mean, I was doing other shit too, man. I used to be a bodyguard. I used to be a bouncer. Shit, I did all kinds of shit, man, on the side, man. I used to work for Kodak when Kodak was around. I used to work for them. I had all kinds of fucking jobs, when I was in school, even when I wasn't, because I had my kids early. So, I mean, most of the time my kids were small. I worked at 2 jobs. Yeah, I worked 2 jobs. I worked a full-time job, a part-time job, and sometimes I would go work at my man's company on the weekends. So, I was taught to work. I mean, that was part of the deal. That's how I was raised. But where I was living in New York, I had to leave New York to do what I wanted to do for myself. And it wasn't even that I was escaping poverty or, I grew up in a tiny town. Okay. And the town was about as big as the block I live on now. And there was nothing there. There was no opportunity there. I mean, I maybe could have stayed there and took over my father's business or something, but that's not what I wanted to do. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to broaden my horizons. I wanted to see other shit. I wanted to do other things. So I had to leave, right, to get what I needed for my life. So I understand when brothers want to leave the ghetto, they want to leave the hood, they want to, they want to venture out, they want to do something else because there's nothing there for them. Okay. Now, people will always tell you that, oh, you need to be starting businesses, in the hood. You need to be starting businesses here and all that kind of shit. Now, that all sounds good. Yeah, it sounds wonderful. It sounds magnificent. But what business would you start in the hood exactly? Brother Art, what's good, man? Hit me up, man, if you want to come up. Matter of fact, I'll put the link in the chat. If you brothers want to come up. Yeah. So I understand where brothers want to get up out of the hood, man, because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I mean, what business would you start in the hood exactly? Yeah, come on, man. Thursday night, come on up. It's all good. Now, people will say, y'all should be, starting stores. Y'all should be starting this, starting that. Man, I'll be in the hood. I travel. All right. I'll be in the hoods. I'll be in the hoods here, out there with my wife, feeding folks and whatnot. I'll be in the hoods when up in Jersey. I'll be in the hoods in New York because, I travel every couple of months, I go through some hoods, when I'm working because I have out of state work. I'm in South Carolina. I'm in Virginia. So I see these hoods and there's nothing there. This is why people leave, right? They leave because there's nothing there. Brother Art, what's good with it, man?
Oh, nothing much, good brother. Just at
Now,
home.
yeah, man. I'm glad you up here, man. My brother Art and Style, royalty up GPOT YouTube page. But
You the man.
you leave these places, man, because there's nothing, right? Especially if you grew up in a neighborhood that's impoverished and poor and all that kind of shit. Usually you have to leave that area. You have to leave that area to get hold of something most of the time. You think about an NBA player or NFL player or a baseball player or anybody that grew up in poverty and despair in the projects in the ghetto. You think they would have gotten that remaining there? You think they'd be making millions of dollars a year if they had stayed there? No, because that hood gave them nothing. It gave them nothing. They had to leave that hood to get something, to get hold of something. They had to leave it. They had to leave it, right? So now that they've left and they become somebody, they make a few dollars. They live in a big house. They living around white folks. They doing whatever it is they're doing. For us to expect them to now come back and give money to the very place that they left, I think is a little misguided. And I know people are going to get mad at me because they say, well, you're supposed to give back. But I say again, when people talk about giving back, what's good, Deadly Rave? I see you up there, brother. When people talk about giving back, like I said, indicates what? That you got something in the beginning. And I would be the one to say, I would venture to say that you didn't get anything. In fact, I would say your conditions drove you out of there, right? Only thing it gave you was the ambition and the drive to leave. So I don't think that people who have made something out of themselves are under any obligation to now go back into those places and take care of folks. In fact, I believe that the best thing you can do for those people is blaze a trail out of there and hopefully they'll follow. But there's a caveat to that. I'll give them back. Because think about the people in those neighborhoods. Who are the people who actually did get something from those neighborhoods? Because it wasn't the guy who went off to the NBA. No. It wasn't the guy who went off and worked in corporate America. No. It wasn't the guy who went off and became a football player. No. It wasn't them. The people who got the most from that neighborhood were the people who sold drugs, robbed, stole, did all this bullshit. They drove around in fancy cars. They lived nice. They had pockets full of money. Their wives and girlfriends wore mink coats, diamond rings, gold watches. They gained a lot from the hoods. And not just them. The preachers, the pastors, the deacons, the bishops, they too gained a lot from the hood. While they drove their Rolls Royces and their BMWs, as they zoomed by their parishioners who were walking to church to put half their rent money in the collection plate, to put bill money in the tithe box. Those people gained a lot from the hood. So why do we not talk about them giving back to the very people they took from? They enriched themselves in the hood. Who drive a nicer car than the preacher besides the drug dealer? Only the drug dealer.
It's not the teacher.
Drives a nicer car than the pastor. And we often talk about how foreigners come into our neighborhood and set up stores and then make all this money and take it back to their communities. Pastors do the same thing. Now, they may have this big old grand brick church in the middle of your neighborhood, but I guarantee you they don't live in your neighborhood. So they do the same thing. They round that money up in that tithe box. They round that money up that came out of those collection plates, jumping their damn Rolls Royce or BMW or whatever the hell they driving, and breeze it right on back to that community that's away from yours. So when we talk about giving back, we better be careful how we say that. Because, see, I don't believe that we just owe black folks because we black like them and we've happened to have made something of ourselves. Because let's be honest, man, a lot of the places where we came from, I know where I came from, that town, you could drive across it north to south, east to west, and probably in about 5 minutes. There was nothing there. Nothing. So I don't feel like I'm obligated to go back in that town and help them to what? That town gave me nothing. Got nothing from it. Because if there was something there, I wouldn't have left. Or should I say if there was something there for me? And I think a lot of other people who grow up in them little tiny podunk, ran down towns feel the same way. But what about the people who sold drugs there, who robbed and stole there? The people who stood on that podium and preached to people there. They're still there. Why? Because they get from there. Therefore, shouldn't they be given back? What y'all think?
Do you think? Well, first off, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, appreciate you for having me on. Name's Ji. But do you think
What's
that
good with it?
successful blacks should go back and not necessarily give back, but build in those communities and take the money that non-black people are getting from there? Do you think that they should be doing that? Not just giving back as in to help, but to build up stuff there, build their own stores and that, so that they can, so blacks can profit off of other blacks instead of having other cultures do it.
Absolutely.
Um, Absolutely, I believe in that. I do believe in that. But see, the problem with that, my brother, is that we as a people have a tendency not to, we don't trust each other like that.
That's
Um,
true.
like I said earlier, I mean, I travel every couple of months, and I'm one of those brothers who be in the hood. All right, I be in the hood. I be in some hoods, and I've seen stores that brothers try to open up, and shit, I come back 6 months later, it's shuttered because see, the neighborhood won't support it. The folks won't support it. So it's kind of hard for, depending on what you're trying to do, depending on what you're trying to do. Like, say, for instance, if you're trying to open, say, a deli or a store, because let's be clear, it's hard. It's hard for you to open up something really, really concrete, like, say, a clothing store or a shoe store, depending on where you are, especially if you up north, because number one, the taxes will kill you. Okay. You got to get these special zoning permits and all this other kind of nonsense. Most people don't have the money up front to do that, and black people, we have a hard time gaining the capital. I mean, there's a lot of ideas out there, but one thing you need to open a business is you need capital. You need investment. If you can't get a loan from a bank, what do you have to do? You have to get money from somewhere else. And the somewhere else often ain't there, especially when you're talking about these neighborhoods that are just like ran down. When you got a neighborhood that's ran down, it's tore up, all the people around there are poor. How do you start that? How do you start a store, a business, or some? How do you do it? What niche can you fill in there? Especially if you go to places like Detroit, where you got 4 and 5 square blocks that are just ruined. You may see 1 or 2 stores here and there, right? How do you start a business in those places? Where do you begin? Where do you begin? Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, we can start off selling CDs out the back of our trunk, start off selling sneakers out the back of our trunk and shit like that, because one person made it doing that. But that's that one person. You understand? And I think we as black folks, we got to stop. We got to start making we got to stop basing our arguments off of exceptions and get more into basing our arguments off of the rules. That's where I think we got to go. It would be good to see people be able to start these businesses, but I don't think it necessarily should be people who have got up and left. I think it should be the people who are already there, not somebody who went and made it for them to come back. Because see, for them to do it, what you're asking them to do is to come from their life that they have somewhere else, that they've created somewhere else, and come back and try to enhance the life of others. And that sounds good.
I
It
wouldn't say
sounds
enhance though. I wouldn't use those words.
magnificent. Well, you are enhancing if you come back and you try to open a store, if you try to build a school, if you try to do whatever you're doing, you're trying to enhance the lives of the folks that you left, right? That's what you're doing.
But
You're trying to.
I think that that's a byproduct. But wouldn't it be better for? And I agree with. I hear what you're saying. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But wouldn't it be better for the best of us to rule the worst of us than we be ruled by another people? Or
Well,
do you just disagree? Because I understand if you disagree, but just for conversation's sake.
well, who benefits the most? Who benefits the most if the hood gets rebuilt, reconstructed? Is it the guy who lives up the hill on the mansion where he's pulling in $10 million a year? Or is it the people who live in the so-called hood that needs to be rebuilt? Who stands
It's
to
the people who
benefit
live
the
in the
most?
hood. The people that live in the
Exactly.
hood. If the quality of life is improved, yes.
Exactly. So shouldn't they be more invested? Shouldn't they be more ambitious? Shouldn't they be more driven to rebuild, fix up, start things because they are there? Especially if they're choosing to stay there, if they're choosing to be there, if they say, okay, I'm going to remain here, I'm going to remain in this ghetto, and I'm going to try to make this ghetto better. They are going to benefit more from that than this person who makes $10 million a year. He makes $10 million a year. I mean, what the hell's going on in the ghetto isn't even affecting him, right?
Right. But what I'm saying is the people, it's for the shepherd to rule the sheep. The people should want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but most people are sheep. That's how governments rule. Most people need leadership and need guidance. I'm just saying that I think that black people, if you don't want to, then yes, I'm not saying that you have an obligation to or that you have to go back to try to save or anything, but I think it would make sense for our quote unquote talented 10th to be capitalizing off of black people and put in the work. Not that it's easy, not that they won't have issues from our own people doing it, but it's for you to do. The shepherd has to govern the sheep. It's part of leadership. Now, if you just walk away altogether and just say, no, I'm out, I'm good, then okay, I understand because there's a lot of problems that come with that. But if we're talking about a black community and we do want to view ourselves as a community, then we have to have leaders. We have to have people that are going to say, no, it's hard, but I'm going to go back and do this for the sake of the community, whether they understand it or appreciate it or not.
Out of curiosity, brother, what age range are you?
I'm under 30, but I'm over 25.
Nah,
That's,
he's
I
a
mean,
millennial.
reason why, yeah,
He's a millennial.
reason why I'm asking that is because, I mean, I applaud that. The key thing is us as older folk have to make your vision a reality. Um, because there are brothers that have done some of these things, but in small numbers. But the fact that you
Mm-hmm.
are sitting in your age saying what you're saying, the key thing is to find out what are the blueprints to get you where you need to go. You know, Brother X is letting you know that so many people have tried, and including himself, and while but there's other people have been staying in the struggle and doing what they can. The idea that I always had was far as when, if we receive these reparations, it's funny that you said what you said tonight, because that was my ideal for reparations, was to buy up all these Arab and Korean and all these stores and let them all be black owned in the hood. And so we'll be hiring people in the community so that money can stay in the community. Because when you buy stuff at like these Chinese places, liquor stores and bodegas and all that kind of stuff, that money does not go back in the neighborhood. So I'm with you. I'm adding on to your vision. Um, the only thing though is that to X's point, sometimes people have the need to leave because they're going to get robbed. They stay in the same area.
Oh, I
But
understand. And to
so
to to further understand, I used to be a teacher. I taught at the elementary school level. because I thought I was, we were gonna save the black boys, save these kids. Blah, blah. It was so much foolishness that went on with the poor parenting and the horrible. I had to walk away from the special. So I understand having trying to make something better and walking away. I get it, because sometimes you can't. But that doesn't change the fact that because I walked away, now if a white person or somebody takes steps in where I left, then I can't be like, oh man, what's going on in school, because I left. You understand what I'm saying? Because it was hard, I left from it. And I said, nah, I can't be putting myself through this. I want something easier. But because I did that, that opens the door for somebody else to do what they're doing. So I feel like I can't then complain about what's going on, because I left from my post to fix it. So now it just is what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's pretty much echoing, what I just gave you. The only thing, like I said before, was that, okay, for example, we have a lot of these people that come in our neighborhoods and set up shop, but they don't live there. Some people that do have the big bucks or whatever, they can still set up shop and don't live there either, but they still keeping the money in the community. That's one way of looking at it. Some people prefer this, some people prefer that you would stay. But it's more than one way to skin a cat. It's just mattering how effective are you in that process. You guys take the floor. Can't talk too much.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, when we talk about leaders, right? Who are the leaders in these areas?
Well,
I
that's the
mean,
thing on the leaders, man. That's
yeah.
played
I
out
mean,
now.
aren't the so-called leaders the people, and I use the term leaders very loosely, my brothers.
Mhm.
Aren't the so-called leaders that everyone looks up to, the dope dealers, the drug sellers, the pastor, the bishop? These are the defunct, if you will, leaders in these places. These are the people that everyone's looking up to. People aren't looking up to the guy who went off and became an NBA player, or went off and became a stockbroker, or went off and became, a teacher or a scientist or an entrepreneur or owns his own. People don't look up to those people. We talk about that stuff all the time up here. They don't look up to those people. They look up to the pastor. They look up to the dope dealer who got the Benz with the 30-inch rims. These are the people they're looking up to. So, in a sense, these people are the leaders. So I agree with you, my brother, that the leaders should be leading the flock. I just don't think the leaders are the people who left. I think the leaders, the so-called leaders, are there. They're there. And not only are they there, they have benefited off of that very community that needs leadership. That Mercedes Benz that the dope boys driving, all the dope heads in there bought it. That Rolls Royce that the bishop driving, that the pastor driving, all those people in that community bought it. That house he live in, those renovations on the church, all of y'all who handed in those tithes and offerings, y'all bought it. Y'all bought it. He didn't buy it. Y'all bought it. So he has benefited from this geographical location. So he is obligated to put something back into it. Because, see, unlike the man who left and became a stockbroker, or the baseball player, or the entrepreneur, or the investor, what he got, he had to leave from there to get it. The pastor, he's getting it right there. The dope boy, he's getting it right there.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and it's been like that for years in the community. And for whatever reason, black people are not waking up to that fact. But no, I absolutely agree with that. And like I said, I don't think anybody should have to fall on the sword. I just think that the best and the top of any community rules its degenerates or whatever you want to call them, or the sheep. And I think black people should be the same way. But
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
Yeah,
mean,
it'll get there, man. If you got the vision, obviously you'll be able to execute it. It's just a matter of if it's done right. And
yeah,
the thing is, who's to say, um, your way is the right way or my way is the right way? You're gonna have to put forth the effort and fulfill your vision.
absolutely.
That's
I agree. I mean, because I agree with, I believe in people organizing. I believe in people getting together and investing into whatever they want to do to try to improve life, whether it be on a street, on a block, on a corner, whatever. I believe in that. But I also believe that it needs to start with them because, see, it's hard to get outside influence to come in and invest if the people on the inside of it are not influenced enough to invest, whether it be time, money, ideas, whatever. I mean, I know me. Why would I want to go and invest any amount of money in a place where the people who are there aren't investing in it? The people who are there aren't coming up with the ideas. The people that are there are not trying to make the place better. How can I come in from the outside and try to make it better on that level, especially when you talk about investing money or whatever the case may be? Now, don't get me wrong, right? Everybody knows I'm married to the biggest bleeding heart in this city, okay? I spend a lot of Saturday evenings out feeding homeless folks out here in Tent City. So I see I see the poverty straight up real time. Okay, because the only thing less than living impoverished is being homeless. That's the next step down. All right, and where we live at is they have these things called tent cities, right? And you go there and there's 20 and there's 30, and from what I understand, from what people like Ross, they're out here too. They say, man, X, this place is where it's goddamn 100 tents, and I never seen them. I thought the ones that I go to, I thought those were the only ones, but allegedly they're all over. And you see this stuff and you want to do something, but there's nothing you can do. The only thing you could possibly do is spend $5-10 million on a building and put all these people in it. There's nothing you can do because, like I said, we go out there. My wife, she give money and food and shit like that, but that's a temporary fix, man. That's a band-aid on a gunshot wound. So what do you do when you got these ran down neighborhoods? What do you do in these places where there are no jobs, there are no opportunities? It's full of crime and it's full of killing and shooting and dope. And what do you do? What could you possibly do? I mean, you could come in there with a lot of hope, but those people need more than hope. That little kid sitting on the stoop and ain't ate in 2 days, you can give him all the hope you want. But guess what? Hope ain't filling up his little stomach.
I'll
Hope ain't
say
putting no
this.
food in his mom's refrigerator. Go ahead, brother Art.
I'll say this is that, at least like me particular. I mean, whenever I have some, like an hour or two on the weekend or something like that, um, I go in and either just whatever black businesses I can find, I drop some money in there and buy some things, or if there's some kind of seminar or something that they need me to conduct, like, half the time they get me doing animation workshops and stuff like that. I put that time in. I mean, I can't save the world, but I just put my little part in and just hope that somebody else do the same, but just keep it pushing because I can't save everybody,
Yeah,
but at least I'm doing what I can without even trying to, without drowning while trying to save somebody.
yeah. Good look on that Cash App, brother Art.
There you go. Hey,
Um,
bro.
and Hurricane Henry of B-Mall, you are correct because see, there's let me back up a little bit. There's always jobs. There's always some kind of job there. Whether it be at McDonald's or Target or Burger King or wherever. And you're right. In a lot of instances, my brother, those people don't want those jobs. They don't want those jobs, which puzzles me too, because you'll have folks who will sit around all day, 9-10 hours playing Madden and Call of Duty and Fortnite for 10 hours a day, but they won't go and be at Target for 10 hours or 8 hours a day where they would be actually getting paid. So there is that too. Okay. I mean, these problems are not one dimensional, right? There's so many different elements to these kind of problems, especially the whole give back piece, because when we say give back, what we're basically saying is, hey, man, you went out there, you make decent money, come back in the neighborhood, look out for the poor, look out for the folks who are broke. That's basically what you're saying. That's the short version, right? Right? That's the
I don't
shorthand
no,
version.
I don't think that's the I don't look at it as giving back. When you say giving back, I think of like when they go and donate, some money for a new basketball court for the kids or something like that. I don't think the building the businesses and stuff like that they're going to benefit from as well. But I don't see that as giving back. I just see that as the best of us ruling the rest of us. Like the Apple or the Jeff Bezos, he's not giving back with Amazon. It's just business. When people create businesses, they rule the best of them rule the rest of the people. I don't view that as giving back. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Even
So
though they benefit from it.
Todd City,
what's
what's
up,
good with
fellas?
it, man?
What's up,
Oh,
man?
what's up, Todd City? I didn't even know it was you, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
let
I
me
didn't know it
let
was
me
him
chime
either.
in on that, bro. Because I was for that line of thought, but then after I put more like emphasis on it, I realized that, a lot of our communities, we think of neighborhoods, like urban communities next to big cities. And most of our that's not most of our communities. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these communities are they done. You know what I'm saying? I speak of my hometown and how it never recovered from the crack era. You know what I'm saying? And it's a hood outside of the city. You know what I'm saying? There's no opportunity there. Like everybody works for the city, or Walmart, or like you said, McDonald's. So let's say you do have success and you come back and you rebuild, just know that you're not going to get a return on whatever you did because there's no, what I'm saying, there's no economy. You know what I'm saying? The people don't even make money to, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Mm.
get what you're saying. Even if you build a business there, they don't have enough money for you to be profitable off of it. That's what you're saying.
Right. And you could go in there and rebuild houses and stuff like that, but what are you going to charge for rent?
Well, the bottom line, man, is you got to just move forward overall instead of doing nothing. And I think that's the
Right.
problem that we have as a whole, as a people. What if, what if, what if? And there's going to be that all the way down the line. But the key thing is you got to plan for those things. You got to plan for what if. The what if is, is popular, but it should not be put in part of planning. The main thing is you got to, like the brother that the younger brother that was talking earlier. He had a very clear goal on what he wanted to do for the community, and so he put all these different things out there. He probably want like a certain paint color. He probably want the ground to be a certain way, pathways, employees. He probably have all that. Now the what what the what if it really is? That's called insurance. So you got to plan for those. So the what ifs won't even be a factor. So
Right.
if we can move forward as a group, I know that people try to do the individual thing, and that's going to Prophet's point. Sometimes you just when you keep trying to do things individually, you get worn out.
Yeah. And
And
see, that's what I'm saying. We have to, in order for, what I'm saying, that model to work where we have different classes of black people, the underclass have to have some kind of, what I'm saying, some kind of power also to keep this thing going. Because who wants to be ruling over the almost homeless people?
you know what, brother? Some people have to understand that they're a team player, and some people have to understand that they're a leader. A lot of people that
Right,
only can be team players trying hard to be leaders, but they don't fit the part.
right,
So they gotta be like for example, here's one way. You know how like for example, if you're trying to do some things, but it's always it takes a group of people to take you down. What does that mean? That means you're a leader because it takes a whole bunch of people to get you instead of one person. Instead of because some people are like, why they all picking on me? Because if you rise above it, you can be the leader. You
right,
know, I mean, the thing is, when we start becoming more honest about who's the leaders and who are the workers, I don't think it's too much of a problem for somebody to be a worker. You just be good at it. Just like, we always use a sports analogy. Some people are the stars and some people are the role players. I'm a Laker
right.
fan.
So,
I'm a Laker fan. I cannot see us winning some of those championships without Derek Fisher.
Mm. Well, do you think? I mean, the brother did make a good point because he says, you talk about, oh, good look on that Cash App, Don Cato. Appreciate that, brother. Um, the brother made a good point when he said, if you come in there and you start a business, you benefit too. That's not necessarily giving back, and I agree with that. But when we talk about giving back, we're usually talking about coming back and doing something, that's going to benefit just the people in that particular area, right? Now,
Hmm.
are we wrong if we view giving back as coming and get some of those people and taking them out of there? Because
No,
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
Absolutely
No.
not. That's not wrong at all.
is that a wrong way to think about giving back by coming in? You went out and made it. I know because I hire brothers. I mean, most of the people who work for me in the hood, I mean, pants hanging off their ass, bad grammar, and the whole nine. I mean, those like my main guys that work for me.
Soldiers.
Yeah, I love to death. There's two of them. They've been with me for like 4 years. Bad grammar, pants hanging off the ass and the whole nine. One motherfucker wrecked my truck one time, but I mean, they good workers. So I try to get these brothers not out of the hood per se, but out of the hood mind state. And I think that's kind of where it needs to go. When we talk about giving back, should we be giving back things that's going to keep the folks there, or should we be giving back things that's going to give them the idea to say, hey, look, I want to get out of here. I want to start a business. I want to go to school. I want to become a whatever. I want to become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a scientist,
You,
entrepreneur.
You got to do it all, you know,
Y-
because some people got lanes that follow in. You know how I always give this whole diatribe on, college and all that kind of stuff. And then somebody try to cut me off and say, well, college is not for everybody. What you need is a trade. Why not do it all?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because it would feel good to be honest. And people in the chat, if y'all feel me, everybody out there, it would be nice that if you had a black doctor, black lawyer, a black accountant, a black, you just have, and then your money is going, you know, amongst your people and changing hands like 6 or 7 times before it leaves.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
all.
go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with that. And no, brother X, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that at all. And if you want, as far as the giving back thing, if you're saying that you're bringing them, taking those people out of the hood, then yeah, that's any help you're giving them is giving back. But
Yep.
when you say that people shouldn't be trying to give back, I just say I don't view the business starting the business. I don't view that as giving back. I just view that as business. And I think that the best of us, or the talented tens, whatever you want to call it, they should be running the everything in our neighborhoods and in our communities, just like other coaches do for their communities. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult. But I believe that we should rule ourselves to the best of our ability. Now, if you, like I said, I understand people that said, no, I can't work in the community. It's too much. It's not worth it, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the churches should be doing more. We all agree there. And yes, the people there should be wanting to do better for themselves. There's no pushback on that. My only point is other groups and other cultures, they understand that the people at the bottom or whatever, people with that mindset, because everybody that's, poor isn't an idiot or anything like that. But the people at the top or whatever, the have for whatever reason, they rule over the people that don't. And I don't think we should be any different. I don't think we should be comfortable with just letting other people rule over us.
Mm.
That's what I've been saying, and my mom before she passed. I've been saying that for years. And what's funny, what that brother just said, there's going to be somebody come out of nowhere and say, "Why I gotta be black businesses? Why, why I gotta be black this?" And I'm
Mm.
like, you don't say that to the Koreans. You don't say that to the Jews. You definitely don't say that to the Arabs.
It's
So
true.
why we have to always be the one to try to dim up our communities, But and the thing is, even if it's a black owned business or whatever, or black owned whatever, it doesn't mean we can't do business with people outside of the community. Money is green.
That's true.
Right. Right.
That's true. Very true. Very true. I mean, I just because like I said, man, I see poverty, man, like close up and personal. I mean, I talk to these people, man, and I hear their stories, man, and some of that shit, man, just breaks your heart, man. Like, and you can't really help these people. You can give them a few dollars and give them a blanket and a plate of food, but I mean, in reality, you can't really help these people, man. Like I said,
I
unless you're
push
gonna
back against
buy a
that
building and
mindset.
put them in it.
I
Go
push
ahead.
back because I don't want to say we can't help those people. I want to say it calls for work and it will require a lot to help those people. I understand that, and it's going to take a lot to help those people. But I don't want to. I don't like saying that we can't help those people like they're a lost cause or there's no hope. Because people say you can't do a lot of things, and you can't do anything until it gets done, until somebody does it. But I definitely get what you're saying, brother X. It will call for a lot of work and it will take something serious to be done, but it can be done.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard because, like I said, man, I see these people every week, man, and I see them, I see them all the time, man, and I'm out there, and I be out there with my wife, and she gives them food, and we throw them a few dollars, and blankets, socks, shit like that. And my wife is encouraged. She's like, oh, they need help, they need our help. But I'm out there the whole time, and I'm saying to myself, like, this is Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Like, I mean, I don't
But
know.
but here's the
I don't know.
thing, like I'm in between you and this brother on the panel.
Ji.
There's a lot of things because I'm a mid Gen Xer, and there's a lot of things that older people don't see that younger people do. And half the time, the things that younger people say, it sounds like they're really dreaming. That's like, wow, good luck with that. And, half the time, I feel that way too. But on the other part, it's like, I'm going to make an investment. I'm going to take some time, listen to what these young brothers have planned. And then I'm going to use some of my resources, my time, and find out what do I need to do to help make this happen. Now, if you're saying that you old heads can't tell me anything, I know everything, I'm like, good luck, fam. But if you give me these visions, and I say, well, when I was his age, I did that. So here, you can have this. Try this out. Let me know if you need anything else. I think that's the part that we're missing when it comes to help, making these connections. I've been on this. You heard me on my panels. I've been on this for the last few weeks. We got to bridge these gaps so we can make these things happen. Is because these young cats, especially in his age range, I don't know about the late 30s, but like 30 and below, they have a lot of different ideals. They seen what the silent generation went through, the boomers, the Xers, the millennials. They have a lot to study from. So in the meantime, based on what they study from us, we go by and talk and say, hey, you understand what we went through, and then we start making that understanding. Then I mean, my whole thing is just handing down things, but not in a way, not necessarily a way where it has to be like the ancient Chinese secret way, but just, you know, ADOS or whatever you call it. I mean, our own way. That's probably what I meant to say. But I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Well, let me ask you this, brother Art, and you too, brother Ji. Should we be should we be turning the screws on the pastors and the bishops and the preachers and
I'm glad.
should we be
Yes.
turning the screws on these people?
I'm glad
Yes.
you said that. Because I was meaning to address that because you mentioned how much money they're getting, right? And then even some of these other people that don't mean any or mean any good for the community, they walking around with Rolls Royces and fur and all that too. Apparently, they're not getting the money from the white man. They're getting that money from us. And the thing is, if we could really release ourselves and free ourselves from a spiritual bondage and really rally behind like at least 5 churches instead of 50. If we could do that, and I'm being generous, I think where I'm at in that one little city area, it's probably about 200, 250 churches. We're talking about every corner. That money is spread out.
Hmm.
And so if you just cut down on some of them churches, and that money will have to go where it needs to go without even worry. As a matter of fact, I would have a buyback program because some of those liquor stores and restaurants that's in our neighborhood, they were black owned, and some of those Koreans and Arabs and whoever else, they bought them. I think we should buy them back. Employ black folks, keep the money. See, when they're employed there, crime goes down. When they're not employed, people are pissed off and just want to just take things out on everybody.
Exactly.
So
And
that's
to
my
that, I absolutely agree with Brother Art. To that, we should definitely put the screws to these churches. And I don't think any pastor should have. I think there should be a cap of the salary. I think that they should be, if they're making a certain amount, they need to be employing people in that community. They need to be doing scholarships. They need to be doing all of that. And I grew up in the church, but I'm not religious or beholden to any of that stuff. Let all that stuff go long ago, but that's a different conversation. But they should absolutely be used to fix a lot of these problems. And the fact that people don't see that in those communities and still just blindly give is, I mean, it's the opiate of the masses. It truly is. But yeah, they should be held accountable for these things. But that's more of a social and a cultural thing that we got going on. But it definitely should be addressed.
yeah, they found a hustle, because it's if you got that what do you call it, the tax breaks and things like that. You don't have to pay, was it property tax or something like that,
Yeah,
where
well, they
the
do a
exemptions.
what do they fill out a W-9 or some shit, don't they? It's like a W-9 they fill out, for their taxes that exempts them and everything they buy. Because I know a bishop, like I know a bishop here, and I mean everything he quote unquote purchases, with his money, he doesn't make it so it belongs to him. He makes it so it belongs to the church. So he escapes a lot of taxes because of that. It's not my car, it's the church's car. It's not my
Exactly.
house, it's the church's house. That whole, the church owns everything, but the people who go to the church own nothing. It's that kind of thing going on. And I say again, these people have benefited. They benefited. All right. They have benefited off of said folks. They have benefited off of said community, off of said society. So if anybody should be giving back to these societies, it should start with them, like right off top, because
It should.
they have actually benefited from that society. And I say the screws should be turned on these dope dealers who ride around in these Mercedes with the 30-inch chrome rims on them. Because guess what? People in that neighborhood who buying dope for him, you bought that Mercedes. Yeah, you bought it. Just like you bought the pastor's BMW and the pastor's house. You bought the dope man's Mercedes too. So your money is going to these people. It's going to these people. So these people should be invested. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If a brother sells drugs for whatever reason,
Uh-huh.
he this is all he knows how to do. This is what he's good at. Fine. But if he's taking that money and actually doing, like you said, Brother J.I., building a basketball court for the kids, fixing up the park, renovating one of those project buildings with some of his money, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad at him selling his dope. I wouldn't, because he's giving back.
I don't think that they should sell to our people. If you're gonna sell, don't sell to our people. But I agree with that, Brother X. And the park thing and all that stuff, that's what I categorize as giving back, doing that little frilly stuff. That's not gonna help. Well, I mean, it's nice for the kids, but what they need is businesses. I'm just for us ruling ourselves, just like every other culture rules themselves. And the reason why I agree with you that the drug dealers and the churches should 100% be held accountable. I agree with it. They should. But the only reason I'm saying that we shouldn't wait on that or put too much stock in that, not that I push back against that idea, is that I view them as the crooks of the community. And every community has its crooks and its criminal class or whatever. That's that's just people. That's in people. But the crooks and the criminal class, that's not what they're for. They're not to make the community better. They're to get over on the community. That's what they do. that's why I said it would take the best of us, or the ones, that made it, to come back to rule the rest of us, because they would have to have that vision. And that's why I put the onus more on them. Not that the drug dealers and churches shouldn't be held responsible. It's just that they represent the criminal and the crookedness of the community. And the criminal and the crookedness of the community never does anything to better the community, because that's not their role to better it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that, but they are there. They're in the community, right? They're in the community. They're benefiting off of the community. They're not going anywhere. So if they're going to be there, why can't they get their damn hands dirty too? Why can't some of that damn dope money that they making go to building a daycare center so these women can get out there and work and somewhere to
You
leave
know
their
what though,
kids?
X?
Why not?
Sadly to say, they did get down like that back in the day. You remember
Yeah, back in the day.
The Apollo, that's drug money
Yeah, I
in
know.
Harlem.
I know.
A lot of places, man. But right now, it's like to each his own, is every man for himself. And it's crazy because that reality occurs in the Italian neighborhoods, the Jewish. Um, they always had their drug dealers funding things. And people, I mean, they go shopping and buy the food or whatever, but they don't realize, hell, look at South Beach in Florida. That's Cuban and Colombian drug lord money.
Yeah, and to make a, oh, sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I'm just saying, if you see the documentary Cocaine Cowboys, it breaks all that down. And I have a feeling they're going to do the same thing in the borders of Mexico. But go ahead, fam.
Um, to make the point, everybody uses their criminal element to do whatever they do. The criminal element is not to make things better or whatever, even though sometimes they do use the money for good. But people have to understand, legal and illegal is just whoever's in power at the time. It's not right and wrong. Legal and illegal does not equate to right and wrong. Otherwise, we wouldn't have so many people that were in jail right now for drugs that are legal right now. So legal and illegal are, and right and wrong are different things. But if somebody said you can't lead who doesn't want to listen, that's not true, because a lot of people complain about white supremacy or quote unquote the white man, but they go to work and do their job. And black people, the best of us, would have it the same way. It's not about the business aspect that I'm talking about. It wouldn't be about leading them or anything. You would own it. They would work for you. That's just bottom line. Except we would just keep things in our community. The best of us would rule the rest of us, just like every other culture in society. It's not about, at that level, it's not even about trying to make them want to do better for themselves. It's just about owning their labor and profiting off their labor, so that at least it's us profiting off of it instead of other people.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm like the way, in the complaint about the white man and all that kind of stuff that people say. And he said that they even also conform to the job, that they happen to be owned by a white man or managed by a white man. The That kind of shows you that even if they work under us, they might complain about us, but they still got to eat. they
Yeah,
still got to they still got to work.
Exactly.
that's true. Well,
And if
I
they
mean,
don't, they're gonna
a
get
lot
fired.
of
And
us,
just like them.
a lot of us, I mean, chances are if you work for any company, you're working for white people, unless you're
Yeah.
working for a company that's owned by somebody who ain't white. I mean, a lot of us, myself, I own a small business. I've been building the business for 6 years. So I don't work for the white man. I work for my damn self. But I worked for the white man for 24 years before I got to that point. So, I mean, I get the whole, working for the white man thing. Trust me, I get it. But what I think happens often, right? When we talk about, oh man, lying on the white man and all that kind of stuff, we say that kind of stuff. But I say again, most of us who have a job, we're working for the white man. All right, we're working for the white man, and when you come
No,
into the
wait. I agree. I wasn't saying that people shouldn't be. I was saying, somebody said in the chat, that you can't leave people who don't want to listen. I was just saying that yes, you can. If you own the businesses, they will work for black people, black-owned businesses, just like they work for white-owned businesses. That's the only point I was making. I wasn't talking about white supremacy or anything. Just to be clear.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but if you're talking about, okay, we want to try to get some type of infrastructure, because you're talking infrastructure when you're talking about building businesses and things that's going to give black folks jobs. Because if you want to start businesses and some type of economical base in black society in these in these certain geographical areas, you're talking about bringing in opportunity, right? Because if, say for instance, you put a store in there, or you put a I don't know, a dry cleaners in there, something that everybody uses, a dry cleaner or a laundromat or whatever the case may be. What's going to happen? You're going to do what? You would think that they're going to hire folks within the community to come work in those places, right? So that would get some people employed, and they're employed, so their money would be going into said community, right? But if you go into these neighborhoods and you do see these things, you see these dry cleaners and you see these laundromats and you see, these little stores and arcades, even though it's a primarily black neighborhood, black folks ain't running that shit. They're not. It's the Turkish folks. It's people from China. It's these people. It's Latinos. They're running these things, and guess what? They're not hiring black people in there. You go into these little bodegas, these little delis, these little restaurants that you see in New York City, even though it's smack dab in the middle of nothing but black folks. Who do you see in there? Latino behind the counter. The other 4-5 people that work in there, they Latino too. You go in these other places, you go in these little restaurants, the people who behind the counter are Asian. The 4 and 5 and 6 people they got working there, they're Asian too. So, I mean, when these businesses come into black areas, they don't necessarily give any type of economical lift to black folks. And what I would venture to say is that even if someone did come in and start a dry cleaners, laundromat, restaurant, I would venture to say that even that may not give too many black people an economical lift, because I don't think they would necessarily hire black folks to work it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't get somebody to go and work at a Target or a Burger King or a Best Buy, who gonna come in your black deli or your black laundromat and work?
I think that there would be people that will work it. But if blacks owned the things in black communities and then they hired black people, then people will work there. I think that the same way they work at any other job they don't like, they will work at a black-owned job that they don't like. If we owned enough of them.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles out here. They got, this black owned. You got black people working there. Believe it or not, the wing stops, low key, or a lot of them are black owned out here.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Latinos working there, but you got black folks there.
Yeah, it's like that here too. Wingstop, one thing I can say about where I'm at in North Carolina, you see a lot of black folks working in like a lot of the service jobs. If you go to Wingstop, if you go to Chick-fil-A, you go to Target, even in areas that are white, because if you like in the southwest quadrant of Charlotte, it's pretty white. Here, that area of Charlotte is pretty freaking white. So even in those places, you see a lot of black folks working in those places. You know what I'm saying? You see, but the sad thing is, and I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to make folks mad too. Most of the black people you see working in there are black girls, black women. You don't see a lot of brothers. Yeah, you don't see a lot of brothers working in there at all, man. You don't. You don't see a lot of brothers working in those places, man. You see a handful, but I mean, most of the black folks who have those quote unquote service jobs, like if you go to Walmart or something like that, I mean, most of the people working in there, man, are black, but they're black women. It's not a lot of black. It's not a lot of brothers working in those places, man. It's not. I mean, that's just the truth. You go to the T-Mobile store, it's young black women working in there. You go to a gas station like a Shell or something like that, it's young black women working in there. It's not you don't see the brothers working those jobs. Not here in North Carolina. I don't know about anywhere else, but I mean, you just don't, man. You just don't see it. You don't see it.
And I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying that I disagree, but I am saying that if in black communities, black people own those jobs and own those businesses, I'm not saying everybody that works there would be black, but black people would work there just like black people work anywhere else. And it would be better for us because we will be doing business for ourselves and keeping our money inside of our communities. And our money will be exchanging hands with us more before it leaves our community. And that would help build our economic power and our economic wealth as a community.
And you know what's crazy? And everybody keep claiming that not everybody, a lot of people keep claiming that we worship Nipsey Hussle and all that just because he died. But he was on that when he was in his teens. And his whole thing was property, you know. And that's the thing is that every time, I don't know about other brothers that are older like me or even older than me, whenever I hear brothers have these visions, brothers specifically, because that's the leader, specifically want to take some kind of invested interest in ownership, leadership, and stuff like that, it's like we don't support these brothers enough, man. We don't put the
Yeah.
shot in their arm because they the one with the juice. They got the energy, they got the legs, they got the muscle, but we just don't. I think we need to put more effort into at least you know pushing them like we pushed Obama. He was the man that could do no wrong when he ran,
Well,
and look what
do
happened.
you
He became
do you
president.
think do you think, brother Art, that is it? Is that do you think that is part of the problem in this? And these are some of the things that dissuade, people from quote unquote giving back or investing in, or however you want to frame it. Is Does that dissuade people from doing it because they feel like they won't get supported, that if they come in there and they start a business, that people won't patronize their business, or they scared it might get stuck up, or
Yeah,
does that
yeah, I
deter
do. I think
people?
so because they look like they're the last man standing. And I mean, sometimes they feel like a fool because they're the only one there. So they probably have these ideals for like maybe 5 years. They keep looking around like nobody's helping. They're like, F it, I'm out of here. You know, and that's the stuff that I've been seeing. We don't, like I said, we don't really put forth enough effort to come together. And the thing is, too many people would say that I'm not gonna get in there unless I have me a leadership position.
Mm.
Everybody want to be a leader.
Yeah, everybody want to be in charge.
Too many, too
I got
many chiefs and enough Indians. But to somebody said in the chat, the background check is a major issue. Background, all this. Okay, man, how can I say this? The whole system of an economy and having businesses and having to do background checks or whatever, all those stuff form just barriers to entry because they want to limit who can get what type of jobs because they control the jobs. When Brother X, did you do any background checks for the men that you hired for that you spoke on earlier?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So
Absolutely not.
when black people own yeah, right, he said absolutely not. So when black people own the black businesses, we understand our own struggles as black people. Now that's not to say that you can get away with not doing your job, but that's to say he said, look, y'all are good brothers. I'm gonna take a chance on you. We're not talking about the background check because we understand that a background check doesn't tell you everything about a man. We understand the systems that are in place against us, but the only way to combat those systems and our right just as a people, if we want to have a community, we have to have people like Brother X that have businesses that can say, I'm not worried about your background. I'm worried about, can you do the job I need you to do? And that's going to provide opportunities. It's going to reduce racism or eliminate racism and those other barriers so we can build a community. And it's not on some, I'm not coming at it from the giving back angle again. I'm coming at it from every other group, no matter if it's hard, no matter, you think Trump's position isn't stressful, but guess what? The leaders rule the people up under them. That's how it goes. And I want the same for our community. I want the best of us to rule the rest of us. And I'm not saying that the rest of us is that we're all just mindless sheep, the people that are being quote unquote ruled. No. But I'm saying that we, like every other culture and every other group, we should, in majority, if not in totality, rule our own communities, own our own businesses, and we have to put up with what comes with that. But if we do that, that will be better for us. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's hard for me to disagree with that. I mean, and, when we talk about, background checks and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I tell my guys, because I have 2 guys who are with me, full time. Everybody else that I bring on is seasonal. And I tell them, I say, I don't give a shit what you did, before the hours of 8 and after the hours of 6. I don't care what you done did. God damn it. You can get your ass in here at 8 o'clock and be here till 6. What you do outside those damn hours, I don't care how much crack you done sold, who you done shot. I don't care about none of that shit. You can get your black ass in here at 8 o'clock every day. We straight. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. Now, mind you, when you deal like that, there are certain risks. Because, I've had things stolen and all that kind of shit, and, it doesn't dissuade me from wanting to hire brothers. And anybody that know me out here know I've never hired anything but brothers. That's it. I mean, and it may be prejudicial and all that shit, but I don't care because I know that everybody else is more likely to get a shot before one of the brothers will. So I'm always going to look out for the brothers. My thing, what bothers me more than anything else is that it often seems like when there are those opportunities for brothers, because I have come on this very platform and went to other people's channels and said, hey, look, man, if you need a Queen City, hit me up, put my information in the chat. I could use 2-3 people. I have done that probably every year since goddamn 2016, and I don't know. I don't get no phone call. I don't no email. One dude wrote me. Out of all those times I've said it on many people's channels and all that shit, only one person ever freaking wrote me. And when he wrote me, he was a little far out, but I told him I would still give him a shot. And guess what? I told him that, didn't hear shit from him. So, when you try to extend the hand, oftentimes the shit gets slapped away. It gets ignored. It's, because I tell them straight up, you come work for me, your ass gonna work. I mean, this ain't a job for the lighthearted. It's really not. But, I give you a shot. And, my guys will tell you, man, I start my guys off with $15 an hour. You stick around for 30 days, I'll bump you right up to 20. Shit, the minimum wage down here is $7.25. So, I got guys that work for me, man, that make almost $30 an hour. I mean, so you can make some money with me if you're willing to fucking come and bring your black ass to work. That's all you got to do. Be willing to come and put in a hard day's work. And most weeks, I only work my guys 4 days a week. Now, they usually 10, 12-hour days, but shit, you got fucking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to bullshit. Okay? With some money in your pocket, you can pay that car note and pay that child support and whatever else hell your ass got, but brothers don't want it, man. Last year, I was practically on here begging because I couldn't find nobody around here. I was like, yo, I know some of y'all in the Queen City. Come hit me up. Nothing. Because I was in that bad of, I needed people that bad last summer. And shit. Nobody hit me up, man. Nobody wrote me or called me or nothing. Make you like, damn, man, these brothers don't want no job. The fuck? You start thinking like that after a while, because I've been at this shit for about 6 years now. I opened up my business in 2014. So, I mean, it's just, it's just crazy, man.
I
It's
get
just
you
crazy.
from that point, and I would say that it comes with the game, but you got to keep on pushing on. I know you'll find somebody, and if you do, if it is like what you said, and you're in dire straits and you have to hire out, you do what you have to do. But overall, it's still better for us to have our own stuff, because every brother that you gave opportunity to, that made a difference. That was a chance that they wouldn't be able to get. Like you said, they sagging their pants and not speaking proper English. They're not going to get the same type of opportunities at that pay rate that you just mentioned with those criteria from somebody that's not black.
That's true.
And so it only helps us. It only helps us by governing ourselves from a business standpoint. And I'm not. This doesn't have anything to do with SYSBM or anything that you feel, because this has nothing to do with relationships on a personal level. This is all about the business aspect of our community. And whatever you want to do, whoever you want to be with in a relationship, you can still do all that and still be on board with what I'm saying. Because all I'm saying is black people, just like every other group, should run our own communities and own the businesses in our communities, because we're putting the money into those communities. I mean, into those businesses. And we should be doing business with people that look like us and know the underlings or sheep, whatever you want to call them. The majority of the people, they don't have to agree, because just like they go to McDonald's or Target or Walmart, wherever they got to clock in, they'll clock in for black-owned businesses too, because they still need that paycheck. So that's where I'm at with it.
That's true. That's true. I just wish it was. I just wish it was a way that we could quantify who wants to do what. I wish it was a way that you could actually go into some of these places, man, and find out, how many people there who really want to work, how many people who are there who are willing to invest, some time, some energy, and maybe some money into opening something up in that, in that particular area. I wish it was a way to quantify, because see, you hear a lot of brothers come on here, right? And you hear them say, "Hey, what's good, brother Hulk? You can come up if you want, brother." Yeah, I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, the community is dead, let it burn," and all that kind of shit. And see, I disagree with that. I disagree with the whole, let it burn, the community's dead, all that kind of shit. I don't believe in that. Now, mind you, I also believe that some of it is already burnt, and I believe that it's some fires burning right now that we can't put out. But if I look at a section of black society and say is, I don't know, 5,000 people in that particular neighborhood, I know it's at least 100 people out of that 5,000 that want more. Okay, I'm not going to say it's the whole 5,000. There's got to be at least 50 or 100 people out of that 5,000 that want more, right?
And I agree. And what I'll say to that is, from my time as a teacher, everybody, just like you said, out of the 5,000, you may have 100, you may have 50. We understand that it's going to be the minority that are going to be, whatever you want to call them, leaders or business minded or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be the minority. But to that, when you say that a lot of people, they don't want to work or they're giving up. When I was a teacher, we had this thing called career day. Y'all know what career day is. So I'm not going to explain it. Do you know that they had a clown come in for career day and a Waffle House worker come
Wow.
in at my
Wow.
school. Now listen to this. This is me as a teacher. I'm looking at these kids. They are coming into my classroom. I thought the woman was there. I said, whose child is yours? Because I thought it was a parent. She said, no, I'm here to speak to your class for career day. My jaw dropped. And I had to catch myself because I didn't want to, be disrespectful to her. But I'm saying that's the image that's being pushed to our children. Okay. So when I think that a huge part, and that will always stick for me, but I think that a huge part of it is when they don't see any of these people in the community that own businesses hold their reflection, they think that all we're suited for is this lower level things, and it makes them not want to strive for anything if they don't see people that look like them owning things. But if they knew that the people that look like them own these stores, own these businesses, own these hospitals, were doctors and things like that, it would motivate them to want to do better. So that now maybe out of that 5,000 we can have 500 instead of 50. And that's the change and the difference that I believe will make. What's up, Hope?
Yeah,
What's
what's
good,
up?
brother
What's up?
Hope? What's good with it, man?
Yeah, I was checking out the topic, and like where I stand on the community thing about burning, I think there's already a faction that's already burned. And I think there's another part of the community where there are productive people who are building within that thing. And I think we need to invest in the right part of the community, not the part that's already destroyed, but the part that has still yet have potential and has growth. Because there can't be this you can't build and destroy at the same time. So I think that we've already created a separation between productive and unproductive behavior. And I think that we need to focus on the part that does have a collective productive mindset to grow and apply pressure to the system to grow and overcome certain obstacles because we're aligned with the right values. I think that it's when we think that we can try to help people who hate help, or try to help people who hate the truth or reject the truth, is where we have a problem, because these people are just becoming inflammatory, and they've decided that they hate correction. They don't value the proper things, and they refuse to come to correction. So I think that that's where, we have to be careful that we're not becoming social welfare for people who just want to destroy. So I think the community is divided, and I think that there's a part of it that is already doing what it's supposed to do, and it's a part that's never going to do what it's supposed to do, unless the people who have separated keep applying a model that is so motivational and inspiring that the people who are lost want to be found. Because I'm just think that good and evil, they really can't blend. Is just that they have to see each other for what they are, and for evil to want to be good, he has to admit that it's evil. Because I don't think, man, I'm not against black productivity and black togetherness and all that. I just think that if we don't value manhood and we don't come together on the right values, we are against black people already.
And a lot of that is true, though. But the thing about with the values and all that, see, none of that applies to the business aspect. If you're running business, we're not talking about what they're doing in their personal time or how they personally feel. Like Brother X said, he doesn't care what they're doing outside of working when they're on the clock. None of that stuff matters in that point. So it wouldn't, their lack of values, or their being wicked or evil, doesn't hurt us still owning our own businesses. They'll still be
Yeah, it
equal.
does. Yeah, it does, because as a collective, we won't be recognized. We won't fight against we won't apply enough pressure to the very societies that are going to fight against us having businesses if the collective of us are still irresponsible and lazy. Like we have to overcome. See, we have to be concerned about how we're viewed. If we want to compete and be a force to be reckoned with in society, then we have to have a collective force of understanding of values where we actually reject the bad things. We separate ourselves to show that there is a faction of black people that are serious and that can apply pressure on the system to be recognized and to be afforded rights to not be infringed on, so we can progress and be a force in this country. to survive, and but if we continue to be self-destructive, we basically are begging for our own elimination from that system. We're begging them to create more laws to destroy us, to create more disenfranchisement and more gentrification, because we're actually proven to be the problem they want us to be.
No, we should be fixing that through owning our businesses. Once we own the businesses, all that that's how you show the power. That fixes everything else. Money rules it all. Once we control our own businesses and our own economy, the top
Man, you
people, like I
guys are
said, the
having
best,
a peanut butter and chocolate argument.
yeah.
You know,
What, brother Art? What'd
you're
you
having a
say?
peanut butter and chocolate argument.
Why
When
you
y'all
say
could just
that?
take
I,
that and make it Reese's Pieces or Reese's peanut butter
Make it
cup.
Reese's Pieces.
No,
There's no,
look, I'm not against you, bro. I'm not against, like, we have to own our own businesses, but the majority of black people are not interested in that. So how do you make them care about those things?
That's the rub. That's the rub right there. I mean, trying to get people interested in having better and convincing
Exactly.
and convincing people that better is better. I'm a true believer that in many cases people don't think that better is quote unquote better. I mean, a lot
they
of
don't
us are
have to though.
content. Yeah, we content where we are. We don't want to, because like I said about the 5,000 folks inside the neighborhood,
Yeah.
if you can get 100 of them out of there, y'all can create something. But oftentimes what happens is out of those 100, you might got 30 of those 100 folks who are still kind of skeptical. They're like, well, I don't know.
So then
You
let the
still got that
5,000 work
element
for the
there.
70. Let that
Mm.
5,000 or that whatever work for them 70, and them 70 own the businesses, and them 5,000 work for them. They don't have to change, is what I'm
They don't
saying.
want to work. They don't want
They,
to work.
but
You gotta
they
understand,
have
they don't
to.
want to work.
No, listen, they have to work, and just like wherever they're clocking in now, I'm just saying that a black person should own where they're clocking in. And once we own these businesses or whatever, they will clock in. It doesn't matter about them wanting to work; they will work. They have no choice. Just like
You know,
anybody works
and
for anybody else they don't want to, they will work. And it doesn't matter how few there are that are on it out of that 5,000. Let those
So you don't
few.
think there will be a collective of them who would just prefer to rob people who do work rather than work themselves?
What are you talking? There's always going to be robbers and thieves among us. That's not a deterrent.
But that's
There
the
is,
problem, because the violence in the community is actually destroying the community.
and we would deal with that. If you're saying so, you're saying if you bought the corner store and you getting robbed, is that what you're
No,
talking about?
I'm saying that you talking about the many work for the few, but the many would rather rob from the few than work.
no,
Okay,
but
so if
the
you own
thing
a
is
corner
that
store and you get
let me,
robbed and you don't
there's a
call the
missing
cops,
piece in
like
here.
what
There's a
what?
missing piece that you did
Yeah.
is that you gotta build some kind of expectancy of life. See, a lot of people rob because they got nothing else to lose. So when you're able to give them a goal, I mean a real one, that's when you start reducing those crimes. It's not going to take it away from all of it, but at least if you're able to give them something. I know people saying, well, they shouldn't be taking handouts. Well, I mean, that's true, but there are some people that would need to be able to get that start. I mean, that happens with every other nationality. We got to start doing that here in our community.
But isn't that already
Exactly.
being done though? But isn't that already
In
being
some
done?
pockets, in some pockets.
And I'm just saying, if we want to change from where we are, like, that's sustaining us. But if we were trying to overcome where we've been stagnant at for this decades and decades, then we have to do something new.
Well,
Yes, and
Otherwise,
that
we're going to
like I
continue
said,
to
ultimately
all
stagnate.
is for blacks to go and fight for those businesses to come together, the ones that are thinking, and let them rule the have-nots. Listen, the haves need to rule over the have-nots. The best need to rule over the rest. People talking about it's not easy. I never said anything about easy. I
Hmm.
said black people, just like other groups of people, need to rule over their lower half. I don't care about easy or any of that. That's what needs to happen. That needs to be the mentality, not oh, it's going to be people that want to fight against it. Who cares? They're going
So
to
how would
fall
you
in
make it
line.
happen? So how would you make that happen? See, the issue is, why isn't it not happening now? And how would you make it happen?
I don't believe the why it's not happening now is I don't believe that enough of us have that mindset in our community to work towards those goals. That's why I don't think it's happening now because just like I said, even in our schools, they were bringing for
Hmm.
career day. They were bringing in clowns and Waffle House workers to my school, to my class. So this, I'm telling you, when you're having career day and you're looking at clowns and Waffle House workers, and that's what
Yeah.
these kids are asking questions, excited. That's what they're gearing themselves towards. They're not gearing themselves towards, okay, I need to grow up and be a business owner. And she wasn't
Yeah.
even the owner of the Waffle House. She was a worker.
She's a
See, this,
fry cook.
this is right. This is, and I'm not putting down people that have those jobs. So I don't want to come. I
No,
don't
me,
want to come off
me
of that.
either. Me
But
either,
I'm just
man.
saying, when we have that mindset in our community,
Yeah.
that's the issue. People are not geared towards, okay, we need to grow up. We need to become business minded, business owners, whatever. People are thinking, okay, we're going to have to just work for the white folks. And then most people just complain about it. And then whatever.
I agree
All
with
I'm
you.
saying is no easy, no whatever. Nobody saying anything about easy. I'm saying that the men, the top men that are going to do it, that's what they should be working towards. They should be profiting off of the blacks, just like everybody else profits off of the lower tier of their society. There shouldn't even be any
But
pushback about that.
but
Yeah.
can I offer another caveat to what you're saying? So
So you got it.
don't we isn't it hard for us to ignore the family dynamic because other cultures have a family structure that actually permeates into their culture and business that we just
And
lack.
and here's what I say
Yeah.
no. Here's what I say no. And I understand and I agree with what you're saying. Our family dynamic makes it easier, but at the end of the day, money is money, and you can run a business by yourself. So that's why
Like
I'm saying I'm not saying it wouldn't be easier if you had a partner,
Well,
if you could do it with the family, but that's
well,
not an excuse. No.
wouldn't it be? It would be easy. It would be kind of easy, to organize brothers. But the problem we have in most of these geographic areas is oftentimes you're going to find yourself dealing with these old mamas. Mama! This is what you're going to be dealing with most
That's what
of
I'm
the
saying.
time. So, and not to veer off and start talking about these old mamas, but you have a generation of young folks, right? Growing up, right? Growing up, raised in these houses with these old mamas. Okay. A lot of these old mamas ain't instilling these values in these children. So what do you have? You have a bunch of young people growing up, not having this to strive for more, not thinking about striving for
Exactly.
more because see, their mamas don't even work at Waffle House or a clown at Chuck E. Cheese some goddamn where. She ain't even doing that. So, how do you get through how do you get
Mama's
through
boys.
how do you get through to a block of people who have
Here's
never seen
how
anything except dysfunction? How
here's
do
how
you
you get
do
through.
that?
We have to try to push positivity wherever we can. When I was teaching, I gave presentation about it, tried to open up my students' minds, trying to do that. But here's what I will also say. I'm not even talking about everybody has to have a change of mind. Black people already have the drive. What all drug dealing is illegal business, but it's business. But even in our business, every song we have, we're talking about robbing one another, doing each other wrong, basically in business, which is what drug dealing is business. If we just get them to channel that towards saying, hey, if you really want to get out the mud, then you're gonna get out here, we're gonna go down here and figure out how to get this business going, do business with each other and kick it off like that, then that would be enough. Everybody's not gonna go for it. I'm not trying to save everybody or reach everybody, but I'm saying the ones that have the mind, they need to be working towards this so that we can make this happen. You don't need everybody.
But
You
wouldn't you
don't.
say going from illegal business to legal business is an ethical ideology issue?
Is an ethical ideology. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, because
it's all.
so how
Go
do you
ahead.
reach the ethics of people? How do you reach the ethics of people with not actually dealing with the fact that they value different things? Like they glorify criminal behavior. It's not just, oh, I'd rather do business. They glorify. They think it's better
Yeah, but
to
like
do
X
criminal
said, a
behavior.
lot of them really don't think that there's another way because of like what I said, they've never seen another way. Everybody they know that has money has either been a pimp or a drug dealer or the pastor, and they ain't going to church. So they see these things as economically viable for them because that's all that they know. But if they're exposed to something different, then they can do. Brother X is a perfect example. The men that he hired, he said he's had someone for a while now. That means that they found something new, and they were able to apply their skill set and their work ethic towards something else. And again, I'm not talking about this save everybody, save. No, I'm saying that there is no excuse. Bottom line, blacks need to rule blacks just like every other community rules their lower parts. That's all there is to it. Now, we can discuss the how do you want to make it happen or whatever, but that has to be the goal. And that's not to be nice to them or to save the community. No, it's our right as blacks. We need to rule ourselves. And I'm saying if we did rule ourselves, we would see an increase in positivity and a decrease in these crimes and things like that. And it would inspire the youth to want to strive towards something less criminal and less athletic, if that were the case.
Okay. Look, I follow what you're saying, man. I'm not really applying no pushback. I just think that we need to take what I'm saying and what you're saying and collaborate it, because they both work on each other. Like you can't affect people to want better things without them wanting having better values to want better things. I think we're both saying the same thing. I'm just saying that how do we make people care about what you're trying to present, so they can actually want the better thing and actually produce the result that we're trying to produce, because
You guys ever heard of Laurel and Hardy?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the part who's on first?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we listen to tonight.
Nobody's on first.
I mean, you guys, the key right now, there's always what's going on. Like I said in the very beginning, I don't know, earlier, is that, the but and the what ifs, that's later.
Mhm.
The key thing is y'all got to move forward and strengthen each other as men, because nobody else is going to do it. We all we got. So when you
That's
start
true.
going into the whole, well, what if we do this and what's the worst case scenario? Well, we talk about that when we get there first. The key thing is we got to get there. Imagine that we put in all that work, we generated all that money. Now all of a sudden you got all that land and all those resources right in front of you. It hasn't been built yet, but it's right there for you for the taking. What's next?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Now,
Go
is
ahead.
it feasible that we should work on the things we can control to actually help us work on the things that we can't control? And I mean, like the things that we actually can change in our lives ourselves, like our inability to our sexual irresponsibility, the fact that we are out here, like there's certain things that Black people intrinsically know are wrong, and we can need to self-correct, and we can self-correct so that we can actually tackle the things that are a little bit harder to deal with. But if we don't even deal with the things that we can actually easily change, how are we going to attack the bigger issues?
I agree. I totally agree with that. See, we gotta look at it like this. Now, let's be honest. A lot of us, we don't even have control over the goddamn four walls that we live in. The goddamn house that we live in is chaos. We can barely get along with the folks in there. So, we can barely get along with the folks that's in there. So if we can't get along with the people inside our own four walls, I mean, we got some work to do before we start going out and trying to, get along and make a coalition with people outside of those four walls. I always say, hey, if we're going to clean up the neighborhood and I'm walking around the neighborhood trying to recruit people to clean it up, I'm not going to knock on the door of somebody who got a yard full of goddamn trash, because guess what? You think they're going to leave out of that trashy yard and walk with me and clean up the neighborhood?
Right.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense. If they did it, that means something wrong with them. So we got to get to work. We got to get to work in our, we got to start cleaning up our own backyards first, man. And then once we clean up our backyard, we clean up our front yard. And once we clean up our front yard, then we can start walking up and down the street and clean up the block and shit. That's kind of how I look at it. But, that's just me. Go ahead.
If you guys see when you have a nice army of young brothers and sisters, that's when you start really, that's when the metal hits the road. Because especially if they're in their mid-teens, late teens, you get a lot of things done. And the thing about it is too, when you're dealing with them, time flies. And all of a sudden, you got a whole bunch of young leaders. The reason why I know that because you got the Nation of Islam, and then you have some of the Hebrew Israelites, not all, but you have those different areas to where when they do these things in large numbers from the youth, because half the time, us as older folks, half the time, especially if we trying to transfer the ideal of individualism to group philosophy, that's a hard sell. But when you get like the younger ones and they start seeing the benefits of it, they get some rewards. Like Prophet was saying that he started them off at 15, but you stick along with the kid for a while, you're getting 20. So eventually you see a direction that is going. So when you're able to do that with them, hey, I mean that's the way it really runs. It's just a matter of them having protection. Because it starts
Yeah,
well, but half the time people from the outside come in and, hey, why are you working with them? They shouldn't be blah 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 blah. And that's when they're like, yeah, I should be somewhere else. You
Yeah.
know, they need
I think
protection.
Yeah, I think a lot of young folks just need to see an end goal. Um, I think a lot of young folks, because I'll speak for myself, not to give y'all my anecdotal shit, but when I was younger, I was kind of into that instant gratification shit. I didn't start, trying to see things long range, man, till I got into like my late 20s and shit like that. When you're a young guy, you're 18, you're 19 years old, you have kind of like an instant gratification kind of mindset. And I think if you can convince people to kind of see the end goal, man, to see the long term shit and get them interested in the long term as opposed to the right here, right now, which ain't gonna be easy to
right.
do, but I do believe it's possible. You get them looking, kind of down the road a bit, you probably stand a better chance of having them stick around and shit, man.
And,
If you can
and I'll
convince them.
Yeah, and I'll add something else. I think we have to be realized that we have to get them young. We have to get out this whole single mother thing too, because we got to remember the culture is being affected by the media, which is affecting the children at young ages to already indoctrinate them under to a path of destruction. And if we don't establish families to bring these kids up with a counter to the culture, then the culture is going to swallow them up, and everybody's going to always be learning after the fact. We're going to always have to make the mistakes first to realize, oh, now I got to do it, instead of actually having households with functional men to direct the children to counter the culture and actually start early to not make and fall into these pitfalls falls of having a whole bunch of baby mamas or baby fathers and all this and getting your life all messed up and then trying to help other, it's really, we got to have more of a prevention, and that starts with the household, man. We got to get the household, because we're competing with a culture that's trying to steal the youth,
Yeah.
and it's
I
like,
agree with what you're saying, and you're 100% right that the households are out of order. But I personally believe that if these mothers that have these single kids, I don't think they should get any help from the state. I think men should have financial abortion. I'm 100% for men's rights. I don't believe there should be any of that nonsense going on. And the decay of the family has contributed to the decay of the community. But the reason that I'm saying that I separate all of that from the business aspect is it doesn't matter what's going on in your person. The people that are business minded can still do this, even if everything else is going crazy. In fact, I think that if they did do this, it would help kids at least see, okay, well, people that look like me are successful. There's opportunities for me. Let me focus. I think that would help give the ones that are caught up in that, the children, something to look forward to so that they don't repeat those cycles. And again, it's independent of the choices that they're making in the families, because we already established not everybody's going to do it. So the masses, this isn't something to save the mass or that requires the cooperation of the masses, because nobody asked. The Walmart that was in their town. If the Walmart could be put there, it's just there. The business is there. Same thing for black people to have these businesses. All I want is for black people to own our businesses in our communities and do business amongst each other as much as possible. But yes, I do agree that we do need a family structure. We should try to fix all that. But that is separate from the business. And I still stand on that though.
Well,
Yeah.
brother Ji, you don't think that we being overrun by these old mamas. Are we being overrun, brother? Are we?
But to that,
Are
yes,
we being
yes.
overrun?
But here's what I'm saying. We all know that it's crazy in our communities for whatever reason they keep on doing it. It's insanity at this point. We know that. But just like the example you gave other brother X, it might be 5,000. Out of that 5,000, you might only have 50. Those 5,000 are not an excuse for those 50 not to do what they should be doing and own the businesses. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Whoever's
I
there
agree.
should be working together, right? So, I'm saying that if when those 50 do what they do what they're doing, it's those 50 might be able to save about let's say those 50 can save 1,000 out of that 5,000. That's still a good amount, and that's still more than would be saved if those 50 had not have acted. Everybody's not going to be saved. And yes, it's out of control with these kids, but I'm telling you, if they have something to look forward to in the business world, it would motivate them to want to do better for themselves because it would show them, okay, I do have something that's worth working for. So maybe I shouldn't have these kids. Maybe I should work for something because I see a light at the end of the tunnel if I can work towards it because they would see it in their community.
Now we got an overly amount of baby mamas, right? And some of these babies are growing. Some are teenagers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're looking at a whole community of potential breadwinners, but don't have direction. Everybody agree with that. Um, I think that in my vision, I would make at least the boys in that situation be part of a mandatory program for writing business plans and learning how to be responsible fathers. That
Yeah,
should be a given,
yeah,
okay?
I agree.
Because that's the thing. A lot of these guys, they do grow up. Some of these moms do their best, but they still didn't have that male, like responsible. See, some of these guys
Yeah.
do have their father, but some of their fathers are beta males too. Okay, let's keep
Yeah,
that 100.
yeah.
But
It's not that good having a father if your father's a damn simp. I mean,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's almost like no father. For
yeah,
real.
that's like not having one. I
So
get
they
that.
gotta have that program, and I'm talking about
We're
in
talking
large
father
numbers.
like is worse than having a real father.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I
Well, we
and I
hold on a second. Let me introduce the brothers. They've been here a minute. We've been joined by brother Chaos Rain and my man, brother CRU. What's good, brothers?
uh-oh,
What's up?
man, we got both of them on the same panel. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute.
Well, let me put my money. Let me put my thing on the kickoff button.
Hold on, hey,
They gonna interrupt everybody.
up, TPOT, so Art, I need you to start talking so I can interrupt you.
Oh, well,
You're funny.
you and Chaos gonna be in competition. So, hello,
What's
can you
good?
hear me? Hello, hello.
What's good with it, brother Chaos? You was up here first. What's going on,
Right.
man?
I'm good, man. See, talking about what black people could do to better the community, what contribute to the community.
Yeah,
That's
give
the
back, man. What
topic.
what are you gonna give back,
Or
man?
give back.
That's what I want you to talk about right now. What you giving back?
The only thing, like any black man, we give our time and energy when needed. You know what I'm saying? Be a good Samaritan. You know what I'm saying? Help assist a black man or black woman in need if you can. You know, if they need assistance with a accident, or they need, a woman needs help to, with her car or what she need. These little small things we could do. Now for the bigger scale, that's more need, like resource wise, I say that's more for people that have the funds, to put down something, or get together with other people that making the same amount of income or greater, mostly people that are celebrities that's making the millions. Out of that money you make a year time, all the money that you potentially will blow, and stuff, you could put that to the side with other people that makes same as you, and say we could just create some out of this. We could probably donate to some, but let's do something more tangible. Let's see what's really needed for this community. I'm saying, do they need actual hospital? Do they need, let's say, a grocery store? Or hell, they need something to keep a roof over their head. We could probably buy this set of houses, apartment, rent it. Many things you could do. I think this is a better step for those that want to really contribute to the community. That can start from there. Well, it has to be too fancy, just keep it simple. I think me laying those out, anybody could probably follow and potentially do if they choose to. So that's my solution to that.
Well, we talked about that earlier. Do you consider, let's say, a football player, baseball player, basketball player, or entertainer, or whatever, making millions of dollars every year, and like you said, they want to put some money into said community? Would you consider that giving back, per se? Would you consider that giving back?
Like just money alone?
Yeah, well, money or yeah, well, let's just talk about the money, because that's where it all begins, right? Because if you're going to do anything in these communities, you're going to have to come up with some type of cash, right? So let's say the money. Let's say money. Say they want to dump in, I don't know, a few stacks or $1 million or whatever up in there. Would you consider that them giving back?
That's one way of giving back. And
okay, stop right there. Stop right there. Hold it right there. Put a pin in that. Hold up. Put a pin in that. Why do you consider that giving back and not investing? Why do you consider giving back?
Oh, now you're talking about investing. So
no. Don't try to change it up. Don't try to change it up. I want to hear your answer. Forget what I'm saying.
No.
I want to know your answer.
I'm have to take the pen. I got to take the pen back. Now you say investment. That's even better. Now, and the reason why I say why, because if that's what they could probably contribute, and they don't feel like they want to invest, then the second best thing is to probably throw some money to keep it fair. Now investment, that would probably go a long way. But like I said, if not just that person that has some money will do it, but I said, you could congregate with other millionaires that's in that circle and say, all right, we're going to have this so-called investment plan, because it'll go much further. You get me? But, that's my saying.
Well, brother CRU, let me ask you, man.
Yes, please.
What do you think about the whole giving back, and who should be doing it? Who you think should be doing it?
Well, to that question and to the last question, I don't care what you do. If you go get it and you send the money back to your people who raised you and who, the people that you came up with, that's what's up. You feel me? I could go coon all the way out and go work for Donald Trump right now, right? But if I get in Donald Trump's office and I go make Donald Trump do everything for these black communities, I'm giving back. Do you get me? Like I don't. It's ways to get in this shit. It's ways to get out of this shit, but you have to give back. Do I make sense to y'all?
Okay. Well, the whole thing tonight is we're talking about the subjectivity of giving back, because giving back means different things to different people.
So like Robert what's his name, the billionaire that paid off the Morehouse things or whatever, and even my guys talking about well, he's still not black first. I say he is black first, because even though he made his billions, he paid for so many people to get out of their college debt. You get me? So yeah, that is black first, because he didn't have to do that. He could have just been on his same old, oh, this is just business and I'm doing business. But he took time out of his shit. Like Akon is a cis-bim that is actually not a cis-bim. You know what I mean? He came over here. That's an immigrant that's actually I can respect him because he came to the US, he made his money, and he went and put this shit back in his own country. I can respect that. That is what he's doing. He's fighting. He put lights in his own country. He did that. He went and made America's money and went and did that. I can respect that. It's the people that are running I cannot respect. But I'll leave it at there if y'all understand me.
So if
Well,
you let me ask. Oh, go ahead, brother X.
No, go ahead. Pull the trigger. Go ahead.
Who? You said it's the people that are running that you can't respect. So if you give back, you said just sending money, but you stay gone and you just send the money that one time. Is that good enough in your opinion, or are they still running?
They're still running. One time ain't nothing. Do you send your daughter money one time? Do you send your child money one time, or do you support them the whole time?
Okay, good. So we're there now. So, the brother that you said that paid off all the debts, is he good, or because he did that one time, is he good now for good, or will he have to? Will more be required of him, in your opinion?
There is always more required. Yeah, Akon did that, right? He did that. He's doing it. Now, as long as he keeps doing it, he's good. But everybody can fuck up. When you get old, you turn into a coon sometimes. So, I mean, look, that's my representative in Chicago. What's his name? That used to work with Bobby Rush. He used to work with Fred Hampton. You know what I mean? He was a Black Panther, but now this month he's supporting the New York mayor to run for president. He's cooned out. He got old, he cooned out. But when he was doing what he was doing, he was on point. He was on everything.
So Black people should always be giving back to the community. That's your stance.
Yes,
okay.
Always. What is your purpose if you're not giving back to the community?
Okay, put a pin in that. Hold on a second. Because y'all know where I'm going, because we talked about this earlier. Who do you think is responsible? Who is more so responsible for that giving back? Is it the brothers who left and became doctors, lawyers, psychologists, astronauts, basketball players, entrepreneurs, or is it the people who are there within the neighborhood, the people who have benefited? Because there are people who have benefited from the neighborhood. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's equal. I think it's equal to a point.
So,
because a Kobe Bryant or astronaut or anybody else that did anything, right? They came in under this Civil Rights Act that was made for us Negroes, right? All of them got on because of us Negroes. We built everything. So the only reason they got their scholarships, Ben Carson and all of them from the hood. Ben Carson is a hood nigga. He grew up in the projects. He's a Pookie and Ray Ray, but now he's under Trump. All of that. He came up under the rights of Black people, of us Negroes. You know what I mean? And if you get there on our backs, on our necks, and you do not give back all the way the entire time, then you done fucked up, in my opinion.
But did he get there on the backs of Black people, though? See, that's the question that I ask, and that's the question that I was asking earlier.
No, that's
the whole premise of this stream tonight. Like, who should be giving back? Should everybody is everyone obligated to give something to a particular community? That's kind of where I'm going. That's the big question. Is everyone obligated to do so?
Yeah. So like Ben Carson, perfect example, right? Ben Carson grew up in the hood. His mom read to him. He was smarter than his mom. He grew up in the hood. But Ben Carson couldn't get to where he was except for off the backs of us minorities. He's Black. He got a scholarship. He got this. He got that. He got, you know what I mean? He did that off our backs because he's black. Yes, he has to give back to the community. And yes,
I
he
got a
can.
question.
Just him? Well, hold on
No,
before anybody go. Hold on a second. Brother Deadly Raver, he said he's got a question. If he sits around and does nothing his entire life, is he exempt from having to give back to the community? Anybody want to answer that one?
Nobody is exempt.
Yeah, I'll answer that perfectly. My man said nobody's exempt, and I respect, his stance because he's standing on it. But I believe that the people see. I don't think that the dregs of society, or whatever you want to call them, I don't think that anything has to be required of them. We would hope for them to do better and better themselves. We would hope for them to not stay, in a lowly state or whatever. But we understand that people, you're always going to have your bottom class or bottom whatever. That's just life. I believe it is on the shoulders of the leaders and the ones that are forward thinking to implement it and to rule the lesser of your race, whatever you want to call it. And I don't mean lesser to be offensive, but the haves rule over the have-nots. That's how it is in any culture, anywhere in society. And that's why I put it on the best of us to do that and not leave us to be ruled by other people. That's my stance to answer that question.
So, what constitute as giving back? Is it just building up the existing community, or does allowing people to escape a community that is no longer going to build itself up a form of giving back?
It's
Like
subjective.
if you gave people opportunity to leave a hood that's not changing, that doesn't constitute as giving back. If you made it to get out to go to a better area because the hood, you like if people are not going to buy property in their hood and build up the neighborhood and improve it, does giving people opportunity to go out and build themselves individually count?
I think it all counts.
I say
It all counts.
Yeah, but as long as you're
I'm hearing a damn echo from somebody. God damn it! Turn your shit down off or something. That's UCRU with that damn echo. Is that you, man?
No, I got the mute button. I got my
okay.
mute button.
Okay.
It's not me. Yeah.
But to answer the question, he's saying what constitutes giving back. Like we discussed earlier, it is subjective, but anything is giving back. But the point that I'm coming at it from, I don't consider that giving back. So that's not. I don't put that in the giving back category. Like my man said. Go ahead,
brother J.I. Do you consider it investing? If you don't consider it giving back,
yes,
do you consider it an investment?
Consider it investing, and I believe that it's something that the best of us have to do for our community. Now, if we don't want to have a black community, if you're one of the people that say, and I get it, if you are one of these people that say, I'm done with it, let it burn, I'm done with it all completely, then I understand, because it's so dysfunctional and whatever. You just say you don't want no parts of it. But if you want to have a black community, quote unquote, if you want to see it get better, then that's what has to happen. The best, or whatever you want to call them, the talented 10th, whatever name you want to give them, they have to come back and take the businesses and control the businesses. Everything else will fall in place after that, I believe. Everything else will fall into place, the family structure, all that stuff. But we have to control our own businesses and control our own communities. And we don't need everybody to agree to do that. We just need the talented 10th to play that role. That's it.
I have another question. Would the black community be considered to just be limited to a ghetto, or can we help people to build better communities outside of it just being a ghetto full of single mothers and dysfunctional children?
Absolutely, it can be outside the ghetto. But when people think of black community, the image that I fear rushes to mind is the ghetto. But black community is wherever blacks congregate. But yes, it does not have to be a ghetto. Absolutely not.
I would tell you, I would answer that to a point to where I'm Jack and Jill. I'm boule like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? My parents lawyers and actuaries. I grew up around judges and army colonels. You know what I mean? Like actors and all of that shit. People in Hollywood and all of that shit. I am boule like a motherfucker, but I'm black first. Fuck these white. Fuck what they talking about. I'll leave it there.
Well, I don't see, this is the thing with me. Because I always, you always hear this talk, man. You always hear this talk up here, on these platforms and on these channels, and you hear it on this page too. This page ain't exempt for none of that shit. But it always seems like it's easy to freaking identify, the problem, but there's never no quick identification of a solution. And I think in many cases and in some instances and with some people, there are no solutions with some people. I mean, we just have to face that. But I think there are some solutions out there. Now, implementing them is the hill we have to hop. The implementation of said solutions is the thing. I mean, that's where it all begins. And like I said, I go back to my analogy with, cleaning up the block and somebody looked like their yard already looked like somebody put a hand grenade inside of a bag of garbage and just pulled the pin and throwed it in the yard. You're not going to knock on their door. You're not going to knock on their door because they're not interested in cleaning up the block because their damn yard looks like a landfill, looks like a dump. So you're going to walk past those people. So I think there's a lot of people we are not willing.
But you should though.
Walk past those people?
Yeah, I would say if you're serious about cleaning up the block and you see that person that's trash, their yard is crazy, they should be the first person that you talk to. Like, hey, we're gonna try to clean up. What's going on? We need to start here. What's going on? And then if you're met with resistance from them, then you move on. But I would say that you address that person first because the people that need the doctor are the sick, not the healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that are like that you need to talk to first. Now, I'm not saying if they get crazy with you that you need to try to bring them around. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to be foolish about it. But those are the people that you go to first because some people don't know no better.
All right. So to that point, right? So I'm from Olympia Fields. Tiger Woods golfed in my country club, right? Across the street is Chicago Heights, right? That's where all my street niggas at, right? So, but when I'm driving them around and we smoking blunts in my hood, motherfucker throw his whole McDonald's bag outside, and I'll try to block and tell that motherfucker get out the car and go pick that shit up, and go put that shit on somebody trash that's out there on the street for trash pickup. You feel me? And I would do it in his own hood to him. You feel me? And I'm like, man, pick up this shit, dog. Make your spot look good. Otherwise, nobody's gonna respect your shit because you look dirty. Nobody respects dirty shit.
Right.
If y'all
now, I think that goes to Hulk's point. That would start at home with having values.
Yeah, that sounds like a father. Yeah. That sounds like something a father would tell his son.
Most people do that crazy stuff and don't have any respect for anything. That is a value issue that would start at home.
If you're in the middle of the hood and it's trash on everybody's yard on your block, but you get up and you say, "Nah, ain't no trash on my shit," and anybody that think they finna throw some trash on your shit, you goddamn pull your pistol on them. You know what I mean? Don't litter on my shit. Guess what? Your shit gonna be clean, and then the people around you gonna start cleaning up too.
You think? Or will they just not put trash on your shit?
Or it might be a gunfight.
Well, it could be that too. But maybe do you think that they will look at? But because see, this is where we are, with this minority, and we've been talking about this all night. It's just like if you got 100 people in a room, right? And say 70 of those people have the flu. 30 of those people do not. What's more likely to happen? Are those 30 well people going to heal those 70 people with the flu, or is it more likely that those 70 people with the flu might infect some of the 30 who don't have it?
Well,
So
look at it
that's
like this.
that's kind of what we're faced with when you talk about these kind of
But
things, man.
but look
Hey,
at it
I
like this:
people
the
with
30 are well. They could teach the 70, say, "Hey, you need to wash your hands after you touch things. Don't touch your face so much." So now instead of it being 70 next time, maybe now it's 50-50. They were able to reach people and help them not get sick in the first place. See, you can look at it from different ways, and it makes sense either way that you look at it. But I'm saying that we know that it's a problem, and we know that it's difficult and we know that it's hard. But the people that have the mind to fix it have to fix it, and the people that need the doctor are the sick, not the healthy. So you
That's
have to
true.
go to them and approach them and try. Now, if they reject you, then you move on and go on about your business. But I'm of the
That's
mindset anyway on the business aspect that that doesn't matter. That's not an excuse if they reject you to not do the business part, because you just gotta do what you gotta do to get that done.
Yeah, well, I agree with something that Stoic said in the chat room, that the solution is often within the problem. And I mean, because I tell a story a lot, and I know some of you have heard it because I've told it all over this internet, because it was told to me many years ago. There was a man who had a mouse in his house, right? And he couldn't get rid of that mouse. He tried everything. He did everything to get rid of that mouse. And that mouse was all over the house. He couldn't catch it. He didn't know what to do. So he went to the pet store and he told the pet store owner, he said, "Hey, man, I got a mouse in my house. I can't get rid of it. What should I do?" The pet store owner said, "Get a cat." He came back with the cat. The mouse was gone in one day. Now he's got this cat in the house and he can't get rid of this cat. This cat is tearing the house up and he's trying everything to run this cat away, and this cat will not leave. So he goes back to the pet store, and the pet store owner tells him, "Get a dog." So he gets a dog. He brings the dog back to the house. Cat gone one day. Now he's got this dog in the house, and this dog won't leave. The dog's biting him. He's shitting all over the house. He's trying to get him out of there. The dog will not leave. So he goes back to the pet store, and he tells the pet store owner, "Hey, man, I got this dog now. What should I do?" The pet store owner says, "Get a lion." So he gets a lion. He brings the lion back to the house. Dog gone one day. Now he's got this big ass lion in the house. All right. He can't get this lion out of there. It's a freaking lion. There's nothing he can do about it. So he leaves. He goes back to the pet store. He said, "I got this damn lion now, man. I can't get rid of it. What should I do?" The pet store owner says, "Get an elephant." So he brings the elephant back to the house. Lion gone in one day. Now he's got a goddamn elephant in the house, and he can't get this elephant to leave. It's an elephant. So he goes back to the pet store. He said, "I got this damn elephant now, man. What the hell should I do?" The pet store owner says, "Get a mouse."
A
So it
mouse
just
killed
came
him,
full
right?
circle.
Yeah.
Just came full circle.
Yep. Sometimes the solution is in the problem, man. I mean, it's just what it is.
Hey, X. Then Jay-Z sing it, human being to a god, what's a god to a king? What's a king to a mob? And you know what I mean? Human being to a mob, what's a mob to a king, and what's a king to a god, and what's a god to a non-believer?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
The same shit. It's the same shit.
No church in the world.
God, then what the hell is God to the king?
Yep. Oh, my bad. I don't know what the hell's going on, brother Hulk. He said that the Streamlabs keep messing up and kicking him out or something. I don't know if it's on my end or his, but y'all having problems with y'all connection too on here or no?
I'm not.
I don't know. Have I
I
been
mean,
Borging at all?
panels.
Well,
Oh no, no. He
usually
said
when
that.
you go
I
ahead, brother.
guess yeah. He said it's his Streamlabs, so maybe
Well,
it's on his
usually
end.
Usually, when you have your phone full of like images, like videos and stuff like that, it's not enough. You don't have enough space to run Streamlabs, so it kicks you off. Yep.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
phone
that's
has to
what
be
it.
like half empty or so.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I'm on my
yeah, that's
computer.
what.
But
That's what it is, brother Hulk. That's what it
I've
is.
noticed that like I've been on a couple panels today, and I've noticed that certain people cannot hear certain people. You know what I mean? Like, is somebody talking? Like, say, is Art talking? I can hear Art. Chaos can hear Art. Everybody can hear Art, except Teapot can't hear Art. You know what I mean? Or Art can't hear Teapot. Art can't hear X. So it happens like that. So StreamYards, it does that sometimes.
Yeah, just technical issues. But yeah, I think the solution is always in the problem. Like, why do you have to tell somebody not to have kids before they're married? The solution is in the problem always. People will still ask for a solution because the majority of people are stupid. That's just what it is. The majority of people are stupid. Now, we know that and we can't change that. That's human nature. But as far as on this topic of what we should be doing to give back, knowing that we should try to curb that as much as possible. The ones that don't listen, there's nothing you can do for them. There's nothing you can do for them. There's no amount of giving back that's gonna change that.
It's true. It's true. And I don't think that money is always the answer all the time. I mean, I know we like to think that, money's going to answer everything. Of course, there has to be a financial component, because these things don't, a lot of the things that are needed by people don't pay for themselves, especially when you're talking about infrastructure, when you're talking about starting businesses, when you're talking about feeding people who are hungry, and housing and shit like that. That stuff does cost money. It's not like it's free. Ain't nobody gonna give you no building. Ain't nobody gonna give you no building materials, and people ain't gonna give you that stuff. You got to buy it. So of course there's a financial component to it. And I think that often what happens is the cost is too much. I mean, for one person to bear the burden, I think is too much. And often what happens is, because see, if you need, for instance, say you need $100,000 to make something happen, right? Say you need $100,000 to buy a building, right? Now, it might be hard to get $10,000 from 10 people, but it may not be that hard to get $1 from 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we need to start thinking, towards those terms, as opposed to
You mean
just thinking,
like a
okay,
group?
this person's got all this money,
Like
so
a group?
they should be putting the money up. I mean, I think we gotta think past that kind of shit. Just because a person has an X amount of money, we shouldn't expect them to give the whole, $1 million or $2 million or $5 million. When it's 5 million of us and 2 million of us, and we can just give $1 and have that 2 million. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree with that. And the thing with that is, here's an example to speak to that that
But at least
a lot
humans
of
are
people have
selfish,
different opinions about. That a lot of people have different opinions about. What you said, the crowdfunding thing, is absolutely correct. And the thing that comes with that is you have to have somebody that governs that money and that is in leadership or stewardship over it. An example, like with Dr. Umar with the school, there's some people that are for it, against it, whatever. I was for it. I wish he would have just been given all the money that he said that he needed and then just held accountable if he did not do what he said he was supposed to do. But instead, he did not get he got a lot of pushback and did not reach the goals or whatever that he was saying that he wanted to hit. And in my mind, if a whole bunch of people just came together and did what you said and just did that, and then we can critique it later afterwards, and then you deal with the problem afterwards. But if he was given a fair chance or something like that, we see that black people are adverse to that. And I do think that's one thing that people should come together on, and people should be more willing to do. But that requires somebody has to be the leader, because somebody has to govern that money.
Yeah, that's true. Because if not, somebody gonna drive off with it in their Mercedes and be gone.
But black
Yeah,
black people's
yeah.
problem
Go ahead.
black people's problems, we get quote unquote gangster about the wrong things. So we get quote unquote tough and hard about the wrong things. See, in a situation like that, with the Umar situation, just using for example because it's widely known, if everybody would have gave him that money and then he didn't do what he said he was going to do, well then that's when you can go see about him and get that money back. But to
Yeah.
not give him a chance in the
Hmm.
first place, that's the problem. We don't believe in each other. We get hard about the wrong things. People will come together to try to get some money to do something illegal, like hey, let's put this in or whatever so we can get a pack so we can try to flip it or whatever. That's business. We're just putting that energy in the wrong places. People will go and try to see about people because they said something on Instagram that they didn't like, but they won't go see about the politicians that are putting the laws in place that are harming them. See, we get tough about the wrong things, about stupid stuff, and that energy is misdirected. And that's where leadership comes into play.
Well, people will argue, brother Ji. People will argue that we as black folks we don't need to be concerned about that kind of stuff. That's not important. We don't need to know about the politicians and who our mayor is, and because you hear those arguments. You hear those arguments where none of that shit really matters. We shouldn't care. About politics. We shouldn't care about who our county commissioner is. We shouldn't care who our governor is, who our senator is, who our congressman is. You hear those arguments all the time. You hear this argument about the quote unquote system, right? That has its foot on everybody's neck, right? The system has its foot on all us necks. It's just that some of us know it and some of us don't. Okay, if you listen to these arguments, that's what it comes down to. The big old steel toe boot of the system has his feet on all of our faces. It's just that some of us realize it, and some of us we glad to have the boot there. Fine, I'll give people that argument. All the more reason for us to know a little bit about finance, to know something about government, to know something about policy and politics and who is governing us officially. Because you are being governed. Okay, man, make no mistake. You are being governed. You live anywhere in America, there's a mayor, there's a town supervisor, there's a county supervisor, there's a governor, there's all that wherever you at. So for us to have this pipe dream that we're magically fighting some system by selling drugs and selling bootleg CDs out of our trunk is stupid. To think that we're actually combating a system by doing these things,
Hey, but
because we're not.
hey,
We're not.
hey, last night, right? So in the chat, I was in the chat, right? And a lot of these people, is corruption in the government, and I'm like, there's corruption in the government over here as well. Look at Chicago. Look at Rahm Emanuel. Look at our last two governors. They got sent to jail. You know what I mean? Our last two Illinois governors got sent to jail. Uh, corrupt as hell. Yet the system still runs and works fine. Nobody else around them went to jail or anything. Shout out to that. But that's an excuse. We're still here fighting it. We are still fighting these governments. We're still fighting all of these people that talk this nonsense. Shout out to Aaron. He from Chicago too. Bobby Rush done cooned out. Yeah. Oh, and the governor before Blagojevich went to jail too. You know what I mean? What's his name? Jesse Jackson Jr. went to jail. Not to jail, to prison, federal, because he did some bullshit. Everybody does bullshit. All the government is bullshit. It's all bullshit. My mama told me The problem with the world is that people want to control each other. I don't need to control X. I don't need to control art. I don't need to control chaos. I don't need to control. Hey, bro, what's your name?
Yeah,
What's your name, bro?
It's brother
Ji.
Ji, brother Ji.
Ji. Yeah, I don't need to control Ji. You know what I mean? The point is, y'all do what y'all do. Everybody do what they do. Just leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we get into conflict, let's talk it out before we start shooting at motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
don't we have to realize this, man? We have to understand this, that no matter what we do, some degree of politics is going to control it. I mean, even if you wanted to say you
Yes.
wanted to build, say you wanted to build a building and start a business, guess what? Some degree of politics is going to have to be interjected in that for your permits, for your licensing,
Yes.
zoning laws, all that shit's going to take place. I mean, politics is pretty much behind everything. I mean, there's no escaping it if you want to do something legitimate. Now, if you want to do some bullshit, that's different. But if you're talking about doing something legitimate, above board, politics is going to play a part in it somewhere, no
And
matter
it's gonna
what it
play a
is.
huge part because all politics is leadership at the highest level. That's what it is. And people, it keeps coming back to people need leadership because we need it to coexist successfully. Leadership is the key, and that's what politics is. So yes, we need to be concerned about those things. That's what I'm saying. We put our energy into the wrong things. Now, if you want to have a different form of leadership, if we built communities like, say, the Amish or people that are set apart and they have their own land and they live their own lives, well, then they are less imposed on by whatever politics is going on because they're set apart. Now, if we did something like that, then it would be different. But we would still have politics. They still have their own politics within themselves. So there's no escaping it.
It's true.
There's no escaping that aspect.
oh
But
yeah,
that's
I'm up here
that's
with
life off the grid, though, right? That's life. You talking
Yeah.
about life off the
But
grid?
I don't think that's a bad life, and they just have their own, but they have their own community. I'm about us having our own community. Some people don't mind living like that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think the majority of people will do that because that's a lot of hard work to live that type of life. But I'm saying if you want to get away from the quote unquote politics, that would be a way for you to do it. If you got a bunch of people together and said, hey, we're going to buy this land and we just going to live on this land and we're going to take care of our own needs. We got we got a farmer, we got a medicine man, we got the teachers. We just going to live our own life and be set apart. Then you can detach yourself somewhat from the politics that are going on and just govern yourselves in that way for the people that want to say forget politics.
But
Mhm.
hey, but Ji, you see, all right. So I live amongst. I'm in North Dakota, so I used to have to drive amongst the Amish all day. They still send their children to regular schools at times, but they be walking way on the back roads, like way. I mean, like back roads, like if you're in Arkansas, back roads. You know what I mean? But they're not governed by U.S. policy or state policy or county policy. But you don't know what's going on within their own groups.
And I don't care.
Yeah, but they might be governed some kind of way that's even worse.
No, they're governed amongst themselves is the point. They're governed amongst them. I don't know what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing, but they're doing it amongst themselves.
So, like, if people wanted to put Sharia law right here in a certain county, right, and
Right.
everyone in that county knows it's Sharia law. If I move there, it's
Uh-huh.
law, right?
Right.
Well, they agreed to follow the Sharia law. That's the libertarian view. I'm a libertarian. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, if that's what you agreed to, then
Right. If that's what you do, then that's what you do.
you know what I mean? You can't be forced into it now if I want to leave Sharia law type shit. You know what I mean? Well, then let me leave. I don't have nothing to do with y'all. I'm gonna leave and I'm not gonna speak on y'all again. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I agree with you. But
Can
that was my only point of bringing up the Amish. Oh, go ahead, brother X.
can we even do that though? I mean, like,
Yes.
you know, black folks, will we, you know, because I talked about this before a while back, you know, because I had a few brothers on the show and they was talking about, oh, you know, we need to have our own island, we need to have our own state, and we don't get nothing from the white man. I said, okay, fine, I'll give you that, because see, I'll give people their argument, but when you say that, that means your own electrical grid if you want electricity, your
Yep.
own sanitation if you
Yep.
want, you know, water and sewage and shit like that.
All of
You
it.
need your own food supply. You know, I guess you're gonna have your own cell phone towers and your own cell phone companies, or you just ain't gonna have none. You
Yep.
know, maybe y'all walking. You
Power
talking
without
about when you talking about not being involved with the white man. I mean, you're talking about living off the grid. You damn near talking, you know, banana leaf over your genitals with a
No,
freaking
you
spear
just
in your
gotta
hand.
build it
God
for
damn
yourself. You just gotta build it for
it.
yourself. I believe in that. And I think that if they do reparations, I think that first off, I don't think that there's anything that can be done to actually quantify it. But just to set the record, I think that they should take like 2 or 3 states that are that all are connected, bordering each other, and are all also on the ocean, so we can have ocean access. And I think they should just be like, here, these are your states. You do whatever you want, govern yourself. And I think we should just be left our own devices, sink or swim,
Mhm.
pass or fail. I believe in that. Now I don't think that will ever happen, but I believe in that. And whatever you do with this, it's on you. If you fail, it's on
South
you. If you
Carolina,
succeed, it's
Georgia,
on you.
and Atlanta. How about that?
Huh?
South Carolina, Georgia, and Atlanta.
Yeah,
Did
but
you say
that's
Atlanta? Are
a
you saying
lot of
Atlanta?
things, man. This is what
Uh,
we gotta remember, man.
and
A lot of us can't live without the white folks, man. A lot of us ain't trying to leave white folks, man. We're not. We love the
Yeah,
shit
that's
that
the
we get from
reality.
white folks. We love the shit we get from white folks, man.
See, but
Come
this
on, a
would
lot of us
separate
love it.
them out. This would separate them out if the government said, okay, and they're really being um, patient with this whole thing. But if the government said, you know what, we understand what we did was horrible, it was atrocious. There's really no dollar value we can put on this. But here, we're gonna give y'all your own territory where it's run and governed completely by y'all. Now y'all are still, a part of the United States. Y'all still a territory of the United States, but you run and you govern yourselves. So it's all y'all got your own black leadership, everything by yourselves. Then we would see it would be people complaining, oh, I don't want to go there, I don't go there. And let them not go. Let them stay wherever they are and let the people that want to build be able to have that. And that would separate the wheat from the chaff, as they say, in and of itself,
Mhm.
because it would only be about, I would say, less than 10% that would do that. But here's the thing that people don't understand about white people. You can say what you want about them, but when they came over here, and they got America out the mud. They came over here and they took it. They didn't know what was going to happen. They made it happen. It's not all these excuses. You do it or you die trying. Manifest destiny. We about to go take it. It should be ours. We're going to take it. That's the point that people miss, and we have to have that same mindset. If we want it to happen, we have to make it happen. It's not about it being easy. It's not about it being fair. It's about it being for us and us doing it for ourselves. And that's why I believe in that. And I respect people that have that mindset. And I respect groups like the Amish that set themselves apart and govern themselves and do for themselves.
Hey, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly because a lot of these people they want to give up on the community. They want to say, "Oh, it's a lost cause and this, that, this, that," but it's like, look, nigga, the way you was born was a lost cause. Your sperm had no chance of getting there to the cooch. Daddy had to find a woman, and then your sperm out of millions of them, it was yours that got made. Then you had to go through the pregnancy and not die and have a man, these motherfuckers and still live to this age. Come on, man. You have to will that shit. And people do not will that shit. People are cowards. They don't want to fight through. There's so many lost cause that get won.
That's the
Smash
perfect word.
the
Cowards.
Oh, good look on that Cash App, Don't say a name. They didn't want me to say their name. Good look on. Good look on that though, brother. Don't worry, I ain't gonna say your name. Go ahead, y'all.
That's the
Don't say
perfect
a name.
word is cowardice, because if you say the people that are naysayers, oh, but this, oh, but that, oh, but this, we all know there's gonna be adversity. Nobody said it was gonna be easy, but the difference between people that are gonna make something happen and people who are not is that mindset. And even during slavery times, there were slaves that planned to revolt, planned to get away. And guess what? There were slaves sitting on that plantation talking about, oh, but this, oh, you ain't gonna have no food, oh, you don't know where you're going, oh, this, oh, that. It's always gonna be those people amongst us. But the people that want to fight and make things happen have to continue to fight and make it happen. And one day, even if you don't get to see it, you might be the spark that lights the fire for someone else to make it happen. And that
Mhm.
I don't believe can
I,
be right.
yeah, you seen that movie, The Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence and them.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, so at the beginning of the Hunger Games, right? That shit was impossible. Star Wars, same thing. It's impossible. How you gonna beat the Empire?
right.
It, you just be one person. Oops, I went in that hole. Oops, there it go. Blew up the Death Star. It's Star Wars. Hunger Games. You did that. You know what I mean? You made it all
Exactly.
capital. One person did that. Yeah, it was losses. Yeah, it was. It's always gonna be losses. But you're gonna have losses if you fucking give up too. Michael
Oh,
Jordan hit
absolutely.
more shots than most people in the NBA ever took.
Exactly.
Nigga, you got to try. At least if you try, you flip a penny, right? Your chances go up of it going on heads every time you flip it.
Exactly. But the
It's
Yeah,
people
50,
that lack that mindset,
but
they're
you
cowards
three
and they
pennies.
want to make every excuse.
I can agree with that. But you also got to know when you sometimes, man, you have to walk away from certain shit, man. I mean, I've been a mechanical engineer, man, for 3 decades, and I say this a lot, man. Some shit is irreparable. Some shit I just can't repair. Do I repair most of the shit that comes my way? Absolutely, to the tune of about 96%. But there's 4% of that shit, man. I have to tell them, look, there's no fixing this. Replacing it is the goddamn fix. Yeah, that's the
Yes,
fix. Some things are irreparable, man. Some things you cannot repair. They have to be replaced.
And
And I think,
and that's
would you
true.
would you say that to yourself, right? So say, okay, you have to repair yourself, right? Maybe your body or heart or lungs or some shit like that is of a certain way. Are you going to give up? Or are you going to still keep fighting?
well, when we
Or
talking about
might, you might
fixing,
catch up
when we
and do
well,
something
well,
so that
well
the
when
other thing is you.
when we talking about fixing a section of society, what did Frederick Douglass say? Frederick Douglass said it is easier to raise strong children than it is to fix broken men.
Right.
So sometimes we have to work where we can work. I mean, you know, I I- I've always been of the mindset that you have to penetrate where you can. And some places you just cannot fix these broken people. Some people are broken to the point beyond repair. They're irreparable. And I know we don't like to admit it. We like to say that it's hope for every single person walking around, but we know in reality that that's just not true. So we have to focus on the people who aren't broken. We have to, we got to quit trying to revive dead ass oak trees and water and fertilize these young saplings and plants that are coming out of the ground, because they actually have a future. These old rotted oak trees have lived a life and half dead, You can't do nothing with that. You know, we have to cultivate the stuff that's growing, man. You know, we can't really
Agreed.
cultivate nothing that done grew and died and it got dead branches and it's rotten at the roots and all that old kind of shit. We can't do nothing to it, man. It's beyond repair. They're broken people. So we have to focus on the people that we can raise up to be strong and mold and shape. And you know, you can't take a vase and shape it into anything. It's already a vase. But you can take that clay, man, and make it into a bowl, a ashtray, a cup. You know, you can mold that shit into something and put that shit in the fucking kiln and make it into something, man.
That's what I was saying with the kids thing. When we reach the kids,
My bad.
and we reach the youth. And that's why I'm saying I'm not trying to fix out of that 5,000, that example you gave. We only need the 50, and the 50 can work on building through businesses and all that stuff. It will build more the youth. That's why I spoke on what the youth are going to see. I understand we can't save. I'm not trying to save everybody. You can't.
Yeah.
But we do have to do what our part is.
That's true.
Is what I'm saying.
Well,
Hey, bro. Hey, I'm putting my email in the chat, bro. Hit me up, dog, because I like how you talk. That's what's up.
Well, do you think that we can? Because I know, like Brother Art, who's up here, right? Brother Art is an art teacher, art professor. Do you think that we give back with what we do for a living, or can that even? I know you don't really consider all that stuff. I'm talking to you, Brother Jay. I know you don't consider all that stuff as so quote unquote giving back, but can what we do for a living, can that be considered giving back? And you, Brother Art, do you consider what you do for a living giving back?
Partially. I think it's partially. Um, because eventually you got to pay those bills, but you could be working somewhere else.
That's true. Is that what got you into it? Is that why you became who you are? Was that part of the motivation of why you did what you do?
I just want to move out my mama's house.
Oh. So what, you just woke up one day, you say, you know what? I'm going to be a goddamn artist so I can get the hell out of this woman's house.
A teacher, really. Because I wanted to get into the arts, but it was so competitive. And so teaching was the quickest thing I can get into because it was a high demand at that time.
Wow.
And I wound up teaching in the hood. So at first I was nervous because it was always something on the news about something crazy happening. And then when I got there, though, it was just like everybody else, just like people I grew up with.
I'm glad you're talking, Art. I got to interrupt you. My bad. Things are looking grim. Coolly high and shit. My bad. Go ahead.
Crack is a hell of a drug, too.
I know it is, man.
But yeah, so I had to. I was going to do it for 5 years, but that 5 years turned into 24.
Yeah, because you're about to retire soon, right? You're about to retire soon.
Yeah, I got about. Yeah, I mean, if I go 5 more years or so, that's when I start planning my retirement. But I think I'm gonna go into administration before I retire.
So what the hell you gonna do when you retire, man? What are you gonna do? Sit around all day and just paint and draw and what the hell are you gonna do, man?
Just tour and do lectures and probably do a couple of classes at a decent university.
Okay.
And then come out with three or four more books at the time.
Okay.
And to stay active, relevant.
You're gonna hate it, man. You're gonna hate retirement, man. I can't imagine you just sitting around freaking just like doing nothing. I can't even imagine that.
Oh, I can't do nothing now.
Art is working on it. He got his 30-minute lunch breaks that turned into 8-hour streams.
Yeah, right.
Crazy? Isn't that crazy? Man, they be building, man. I'm like, man, I ain't ending this one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to your channel, man. I see it's growing, man. It's getting traction, man. You should go ahead and put it go ahead and put it in the chat, man. Y'all need to get on down there, man, and subscribe to Art and Style channel, man. I'm telling you, Art and Style's channel is growing, and it be some of everybody down there. Because y'all have no idea how connected Brother Art is. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I need Brother Art Rolodex.
But you the one that got Dr. Shaharazad to come up and everything. I just got a few people, you know.
You know, y'all need to get on down there, man, and check out Brother Art, man. I'm telling you, get on down there to Art and Style TV, man. It goes down there, man, and it's a good vibe down there too, man. And of course, Art be putting his his artistic skill on display all the time. So you need to get on down there and check out Art and Style TV. And every now and then, my black ass be down there too talking shit.
Yeah, 'cause I be getting people in there, man, because I know I'm trying to get the most out of people, and I think that's why people want to come up, because it
Yeah,
ain't the same old stuff.
yeah, going to your place, man, it's like hanging out in a jazz lounge. You know, it's cool, it's vibe. You know, you smoke a good cigar, you know, that kind of shit. So that's why everybody come down there. You know, I come down there and turn over some tables and shit and start talking shit. But you know, once I leave, it's calm again.
Yeah, because I heard, I heard different people, and they were saying that most of the time when we do these streams, we're always talking about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do some things different. I mean, we'll still get into it, but like this, like we were just talking about tonight, giving back. We just try to make sure that we, stay relevant, and then just stay active in our minds. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you're able to do that, then other people start listening, and they start building. So that's one of the things I've been noticing, is that we got to get people to constantly keep using their minds instead of their mouth so much.
That's true. That's true, because you got to think. I mean, these airways have been kind of engulfed in just talking about, relationships and things that
Acronym.
are related. Yeah, things that are related to relationships. It's like we never talk about any other shit besides that. I mean, I'm trying to get away from that. Um, I will be into it next week because I'm actually having a debate on it. Y'all go ahead and keep your eyes out for the promo, because that'll be up. I got some good debaters coming on next week, man. And you're gonna see some new faces too. Because I'm into getting some new faces. I actually had a few new faces last night, so I'm gonna be bringing in some new talent. So keep your
Yeah,
eyes open, man, on the
I
TPOT
advertise
YouTube
for you.
page, man. Oh,
Like on
good.
Wednesdays,
Look,
yeah,
man.
whenever on Wednesdays when we have my lunch or whatever, I
Hmm.
talk about going to Prophet of Thoughts channel for debate, and because I announce it,
Oh yeah.
we,
Well, next
so
next Wednesday we're gonna have a big one. So it might even be a double header. I was gonna do an undercard this week, but I couldn't get the folks together, and then one of my debaters got himself into a situation right before the debate, so I had to call a backup and bring a backup debater in. Luckily, I was able to salvage the debate last night because I only had one side of it, so I was able to do that. But next week we probably have a double header debate next week. I'm gonna have a main debate. Y'all know we have the main debate at 9:30, but I might have a little undercard debate at like 9 o'clock. The big debate is already set. That's already booked. I'm just waiting for some responses from my undercard. So look forward to a doubleheader debate next week, y'all. You know what I mean? I think y'all gonna like next week's show. I'm putting together a good show for y'all next week. So just keep your eyes open for the promo. It should be up no later than Saturday. I don't want to say nothing yet because I haven't gotten answers yet, solid answers, but I should have it all wrapped up by Saturday. So just keep your eyes open for the promotional joint right up here on the TPOT YouTube page. I think I'm about to wrap this up.
I
Any
got a
parting
debate
shots,
idea
man?
for you. I got a
Oh,
debate
what's
idea
up?
for you, but I just
What's up,
emailed it
Art?
to you. I said I have a
Oh, okay.
debate idea for you, but I just emailed it to you, so that might be like a real big one for you.
Okay, send it to me. You sent it
Yeah,
already?
I
Okay.
sent it already. You gonna
Okay.
crack up, but it might be kind of huge.
Okay, I'll check it out right after we finish. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, I appreciate all y'all coming on tonight, man, and chopping it up, man. It's actually turned into a freestyle. I like these freestyle Thursdays, man. I like the way this shit goes, man. You know. So any parting shots before we get up out of here, brothers?
Yeah, I just want to say appreciate you for having me on. And one of the great things about platforms like this is that we get to have these types of conversations, and these discussions get to be heard because there's people that think this way that we do, but they think that they're alone because the people around them may not think this way. It may be somebody in the in the hood or something. Everybody around them is toxic and chasing the wrong things, and they may think they're alone. But these types of conversations can really inspire people to move forward. And not to say everybody agrees with everything everybody says, but just to understand that these points of view and thoughts are out there, and it's okay to think differently, and that there are like-minded people that you could potentially link up with. I think it's very powerful. But on the topic, my only point was not trying to save anybody, not trying to say you need to go back and save and help. I'm only saying that black people need to do what every other group does, which is the best among us have to rule the rest among us. The haves have to rule over the have-nots. It's like that in every culture. Black people shouldn't be any different. And that doesn't matter. It's not about dating black people. That's not has nothing to do with relationships. That's just from a purely business aspect. The best among us need to rule the rest. And that's it. Appreciate
All right.
y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming through, brother JR, man. Don't let this be the last time, man. You find yourself on the TPOT YouTube page. You know, you always welcome me, brother.
Hey, Ji, if I didn't know cerulean, I would think you were cerulean. But yeah, it's the same thing. Go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Teapot.
No, go ahead. Parting shots, man, before we run up
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah. Thank you for letting me up here. Say the same thing that Ji said. Basically, Ji said it. But yeah. Oh, also, y'all got open carry in North Carolina, up in ND.
Absolutely, we do. And
Yeah,
I implement it all the time. Go
yeah.
ahead.
In North Dakota, we got constitutional concealed carry. So you
Mm,
never know who got it.
yeah, you got
So
to, man.
to everybody, because you don't know that old ass white boy might pull up the big ass 357 on your ass.
Yeah, you know, plus I'm old, man. You know, I can't be scuffling and going on, man, with these young bucks, man.
Hey, what do we say? Hey, look. Too old to fight, but I'm too young to die.
Absolutely.
I carry my
Absolutely.
gun on you, motherfucker.
I'm stealing that one. I'm stealing that shit.
Too old to fight, but too young to die. You
you
Bow.
know, you know. But I appreciate you coming through, man.
Hey,
I might be hitting you up, man. For some beats this week, man, for next week's debate. It probably won't be for the next couple of days though, because I gotta, get all my answers,
okay, I
from the
gotta talk
folks.
to
So
you because it's some way that you be playing the music. I want to figure out how you're doing it because I want to get your sound better.
okay,
You feel
okay.
me?
Yeah, I got you. We're rap.
But I think you can do it better. And
Okay.
at least if I upgrade, I'll send you the shit I'm using now. You know what I mean?
Okay. We'll
And
do that. We'll rap.
you feel me? So I got
We will rap. But I appreciate you though, man. Brother Art, parting shots.
Well, say no to drugs and stay in school and don't be starting forest fires.
just remember, weed is not a drug.
Yeah.
I don't know why I expected you to say something different, but go ahead.
It's gonna be a stone gas, baby. It's gonna be peace, love, and soul. Nah. Anyhow, yeah, I think all we have to do is just continue to build. People gonna have their conflicts, but I think the conflicts it shouldn't take up the whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You got to compartmentalize that and put that where it belongs because it's all energy. So
I agree.
when you're able to understand how these energies work and how they move, you got no issue. Got no issue. So that's the best thing I could say for now.
Yeah, man. As always, man. I appreciate you coming through, brother. You know, um, yeah. I mean, sometimes, man, and I'll just say this, man, before we cut out and shit. I believe that you know people should be giving back. I just think that the people that we expect to give back may not necessarily be the people who should be doing it. Okay, I think there's a lot of people who should be giving back, and but I think there's only a few who we should consider obligated to do so. And these people should be the people who have gotten something from the area. They have gotten something from the goddamn neighborhood. They have profited. They have benefited, man. They have, they've made their bones on it. So it should start with them. It should start with those people who made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars selling dope and shit in the neighborhood. They enriched themselves in those neighborhoods. So if anybody should be giving back to those people, it should be them. Those preachers and pastors and ministers and bishops who drive in BMWs, man, and zoom past their congregation as their congregation walk the street till their feet get callous, giving them their light bill money. I say again, that church, that big glorious church, and that big shiny car, and that house he lives in, y'all bought it. Y'all bought it. Just like y'all bought that goddamn BMW that the dope boy drive. Y'all bought. So when we talk about giving back, we need to start there. Because I'm pretty sure they owe those pieces of society way more than the people who left it. That's just what I believe. So if you get these people to quote unquote give back, who knows? Maybe that may influence others who have left to invest, to give something, to come in and help out. Because it's easy to walk in and just throw money at somebody and not be sure where it's going to go or how it's going to get spent or what it's going to be put towards, what it's going to be invested in. It's easy to do that. But wouldn't it be easier to do it if you walked in and saw other people doing it too? Wouldn't it be easier if you walked in there and you saw programs that these churches done started? I mean, forget about the dope boys, because you probably ain't going to get them to do shit. Would be nice, but you probably ain't going to get them to do anything. But what about these churches? Man, they suck these damn communities dry. They suck them dry, man. That's just the truth. Oh, good look on that Cash App. Ain't got on my damn glasses. Can't see shit. Good look on that Cash App. Awakened black heterosexual. See, I make sure I don't say y'all real names on here, man. See how I do that shit? That's called discretion. Good look on that Cash App, though, brother. Yeah, I mean, it would be easier because I know me, I would be more inclined to do something for people who are doing it for themselves. Don't you think? Doesn't that make more sense than to just think these people who are way beyond, way out, gotten away, to expect them to now come back and give when the people right there aren't doing shit? I think that's impossible. I think doing it on the inside would motivate people from the outside to do something. That's just what I believe. Because you're just going to sit back and wait for outside influence and outside money and outside this and outside that. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just think people are going to be more inclined to give a helping hand when they see helping hands already being given from the inside, internally first. That's when the external help is going to come. That's just what I believe. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. That's what I believe. BMT done popped up in here right as the show's about to go off. What's
Man,
good with it, man?
I was getting chewed out from black people all on my show and all the Hebrew types and people who carry the emerald tablets and everything. I said, hell, I'm going over goddamn X channel. Y'all making me want to drink. I'm going on my brother's channel. I'm going to his goddamn channel. I gotta get the hell on. There's too much woke shit for me. I gotta get the hell out.
Did they have the tablets, man? Was they standing up?
Listen,
was
man,
they standing on the mountaintop with the stone tablets?
Listen, man, this is why I can't come back to the village. I just gotta stand, be that man in the goddamn hills and just look down and just look afar. I'm just not allowed to come back into the village. I appreciate where I stand. I said, man, I'm going to dark access, man. It's too woke for me. I can't take this woke shit. But yeah,
well, it's for the cheering.
You wanna get some parting shots, man, right before we get up out of here? You want to give a parting shot? Make it a good one, man.
Shit. Yeah. Simple. Listen, y'all. Ain't no man in the sky. Ain't no white man from the White House or anybody coming to save y'all. I done told y'all that plenty of times. Y'all steady looking for the elite or the blacks that done made their fortune to get out of the hood, to come back to the hood, to save you, or build your schools and all your stuff up. And I know that would be very nice thinking, but that's just not how it's. Usually, it's literally the laws of attrition, as some people will say. I'm not going to give you nothing unless you give me something, and that's honestly why you would have a brother like X say, "Let me teach you," so that way you don't have to depend on them. Because when y'all depending on that man on that pulpit, he says, "Well, give me $200 for that plate in that pastor's banquet." Y'all ass has still been giving and giving for goddamn 200 goddamn years. And so far, only thing y'all showed was goddamn that nigga stupid. Because y'all could have took that same damn money and done started building up your own goddamn private education, your own goddamn work key shop to learn how to fix a goddamn lawnmower blade. All that stuff. Y'all could have been done. Y'all could have been done. Got your own goddamn reparational. Y'all could have been done. If y'all start giving that damn, y'all give the church $3 billion. Y'all give all these goddamn government aid facilities all this damn money. Y'all literally paid off y'all reparational and kids' college funds 4 times over. Did y'all know that? But see, y'all don't. I try to talk. There's something about this Negro is special. There's something about him is special. And the thing about it, we gotta understand, man, is that ain't nobody coming anymore, man. We ass out on our own. I know we hoping that shit gonna work out. I know you hoping that these single mothers and all this shit, they gonna hopefully want to give you some a pat on the back and 2 strokes of your draws and shit. But you're just not getting that shit anymore, man. The best thing a lot of us men and some of these women that want to get in line can do is get our black asses to work. I know it sounds like, damn, you just talking about slavery. No, man, I'm talking about accountability. I built myself, Arch built itself, and damn it, X, you a self-made brother. And the thing about it is we understand that we did it off the strength of our own hands. So that way we don't have to depend on a dependent system that never truly was for us or never will be for us. Our kids, when they come in the house, they're not looking to, well, what's the community going to give me? They don't ask that damn question. They said, Daddy X, what's in the kitchen to eat? Well, shit, I filled up the fridge, so go ahead and eat. That's something that his grandkids and his grand can come in there and do. Our children don't have to ask another man to show me how to play the guitar. They can sit on their pappy's lap and learn how to play the guitar. That's skills and stuff that we learn and figured out we could teach, that we could pass on. And see, that's the problem. Y'all waiting for a goddamn woman, some keyboard tip, some goddamn crazy ass motherfucker to goddamn give you some kiwi seed goddamn grass water. I don't know why I gave that nigga $15. But goddamn it, I know that word was full of shit. But literally, we got these damn fallacies that somebody's going to fix this shit in the community. It doesn't work like that. And y'all keep and I watched when we talked about these stepfathers, and I gotta tell you, I asked a few of them. I said, why did you go and pick up that woman that you knew that wasn't your damn child and try to coach these damn bastard kids and all these goddamn other people? Why did you step in to do it? I asked 4 men the question in the barbershop. You know, they all said somebody had to do it. They said nobody else was going to do it. That white man damn sure wasn't going to do it. That black woman wasn't going to do it. So we had to do it. So I kind of, when they said that, I couldn't get mad at them because they answered the call for, but now we take advantage of that shit and we're like, well, shit, just naturally, people are just supposed to just do it, but there's no accountability. That's fucking bullshit. There is accountability. I don't offer off my services unless everybody all hands on deck. You want me to help you fix this doghouse? Get your ass outside in the heat and help me fix this doghouse. You want me to raise these children? You better be making us all goddamn lunch while I teach these goddamn children. Only then do we got some type of order. Now, listen, I'm not rehabilitating no goddamn battered up goddamn coochie, and I'm not taking in no goddamn crazy ass child that ain't want to listen to me. No, I'm not doing that shit no more. You got to, we in 2020, everybody got to be able to put in some way or the other. We got good men and we got some good women out there that want to work, but y'all asses don't want to listen. So this is why they're like, we ain't doing shit. We're going to take our services elsewhere. I'm going to pass the mic.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out. Go ahead and close out with my man, BMT. I appreciate everybody coming through tonight, all the brothers who came through tonight. I appreciate these good folks over here in this here chat room. My moderators always doing what they got to do. And a special shout out to the old Streamlabs robot. Oh, yeah. Always on the job, god damn it.
Well, that's the
Streamlabs robot plays no games. Hey, plays no games. But but most importantly, man, I wanna thank you, man, for coming out tonight, man, and watching us, spending some time with us, man. Serious discussion tonight, no freaking BS. It's always good, man, to talk about these things. I know we get up here, man, and we shoot the shit and we bullshit and we talk about shit that don't mean nothing a lot of times, but every now and then it's time to talk about some serious shit. Every now and then we got to do it, folks. We have to do it sometime. And I know these talks are painful at times. I know they're painful. I know they are. But trust me, they're just like taking a penicillin or an antibiotic, when you got an infection. Of course, the pill tastes like crap. But guess what, man? You take them and you take them and you take them, and the next thing you know, the infection's leaving your body. You're feeling better. You got more pep in your step. I mean, that's just what it is. And I think that's what we need. We need a few more bitter pills, man. We need them. We have to have them, y'all. We have to have them. So every now and then, we will be swallowing those bitter pills together right here on the TPOT YouTube page. You know. But what I need you to do now is get your black behinds down to Facebook. The Facebook page is Prophet of Thought, one word, series, the next word on Facebook. Go ahead, check the page out. It's a community page. It's not one of those personal pages. Go ahead, follow the page, share the page, like the page. You even can catch up with old X down there from time to time. You can drop me a line. I'm guaranteed to get in contact with you within 24 and 168 hours. You can always keep up with what's going on right here on the TPOT YouTube page as well and find out what we're doing as far as the DXLs and the debates. But while you're down there at Facebook, make your way down to the Prophet of Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. That's the Prophet of Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, request to be a member. You're guaranteed to get in there quick. And guess what, y'all? I'm an admin on that page now. Did you think it was going to happen? Yeah, old X is an admin on his old Prophet of Thought Series fan group page now. So if you have a problem getting in there, just drop me a line. I'll go ahead and check it out, get you in there. You know, unless you're some old fool that's just crazy and I don't want you in there, I'll go ahead there and put you in there. Go ahead, join up on the Prophet Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. I think it's about 1,100, 1,200 people in there now. It used to be like 3,000 at one time, but you know, the admin kicked a lot of y'all fools out because y'all was down there wilding. Y'all was wilding. So it's been knocked down to about 1,200 now. Go ahead, request to be a member, man. Stuff is always getting posted down there all the time. And it's a fan group page. So, you know, you ain't just got to worry about old X staff. You got other fools down there running their old mouths too. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Prophet of Thought. Leave out the series on Instagram. That's Prophet of Thought. Leave out the series on Instagram. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram. You're guaranteed to get a follow back. And y'all know we always going to end the night like this. Get your black behinds down to Twitter. The Twitter handle is at TPOT Media on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. Go ahead, follow us on Twitter. Because if you don't, I will haunt you in your dreams tonight. And when I'm done with you, you know where I'm going. Right down the hall to your black ass mama. And I'm going to haunt her in her damn dreams too. So once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And make sure you have your black behinds here next week. We're going to have a big debate, y'all. A good one too. Yeah, this one's going to be a good one. Now, we might do a debate on Saturday. I'm not sure. I got to see. We might have one Saturday evening, so pay attention to the channel. Look for the thumbnails and the promos. We might be doing one Saturday evening as well, but we definitely doing one on Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, and you know we're going to be back here next week for DXL. All right? All right. So, with that, I will leave you with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your minds. And we are out of here, y'all. Peace, folks.
You understand? Darkness. Yes. You understand? Yes.
Only from TPOT Media. Open your